Oh, here we go with this bullshit. Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, baby daddy.
Yeah, what's up?
So, I was thinking, I want our baby to, be advanced in life or whatever. So right now they're doing karate class at the YMCA and it's $300. So I was thinking I go half, you go half, and then our baby gonna be, Cobra Kai up in this bitch.
Child support.
I'm sorry, what?
Child support.
Okay, yeah, you pay a little less child support, but that goes for clothes, shoes, stuff to support the child. This is an extracurricular activity, so it's extra.
Child support.
You said he's saying child support. Like, do you only know them two words? Child support, support child. That, like, what I'm asking you is for something extra to benefit the kid. You don't have to put the money in my pocket. You can call up there and make a payment. Like, directly.
Yeah, but I remember the two words that I asked for, 50-50. And when we try to get that established, you didn't want that. You wanted sole custody, and the judge granted that. So when it comes to child support, he said that as long as I pay my child support, I ain't obligated to do nothing else. So, child support.
I cannot fucking believe this. Okay, so basically because that's all you have to pay for, that's all you gonna pay for. So if the judge says you only have to pay $20 a month, that's all you would pay. You wouldn't pay 25 or 30.
Here's my suggestion to you. Walmart is always hiring. Fuck out of here. Fuck child support.
Stop the cat, bragging about you having a man, but you know you're lonely. Stop the cat, saying that you got all the dough, but baby you have no money. Stop the cat, saying that your hair on your head is real, but you know it's not the cat. Wearing sewing mop that you got from the good old pawn shop. Run around saying baby daddy left, but you know it's not the cat. You don't do to live off the government, that's what you choose. You fucked up with a good man, you rather be ran through. You know you made a big mistake, leaving him for Section 8, even though you're living off from the daddy, making them your children new happy. Claiming you're so strong and independent, you was just like the baby mama terrorist women. Fuck out of here. Even though you're living off from the daddy, making them your children new happy. Claiming you're so strong and independent, you was just like the baby mama terrorist women. Fuck out of here. Come on. Even though you're living off from the daddy, making them your children new happy. Claiming you're so strong and independent, you was just like the baby mama terrorist women. Fuck out of here. Baby mama terrorist. BMT. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in cold. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies, and doing setups. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama, she be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies, and doing setups. It's my baby mama, I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama, she be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies, and doing setups. It's my baby mama, I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama, she be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies, and doing setups. Round and round, trying to play the Romans, innocent with an evil soul. In public, when fake hair lows, behind closed doors, she rock them horns. I moved on, she wanna teach me a lesson. Can't see my kids, man, I'm stressing. Couldn't see my son to give me his present. She got married to teach me a lesson. Telling people she did nothing wrong, knowing that well since I moved on. Thought that money would keep me home. Hell no, bitch, I'm gone. I don't know what you lost your mind. Try to say my name, but I know your kind. Saying I'm a deadbeat, bitch, you lying. Fighting in court, man, I'm trying to be a father to my kids. She focus on the wrong shit, worried about another being instead of us co-parenting. Put my kids in grown folks' business, telling them lies, bitch, you wicked. Split personality, oh yeah, you twisted. Never thought I'd go through this. It's my baby mama, I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama, she be riding. It's my baby mama, can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama, she be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies, and doing setups. It's my baby mama, I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama, she be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies, and doing setups. It's my baby mama, I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama, she be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies, and doing setups. Welcome, thigh. I thought your degrees were your ticket out. Welcome, thigh. You're back with the guys you used to laugh about. Running around, busting down, get community. With 6 baby daddies, 5 kids and win. Who would thought it'd be ya? Another Ku Klux Keisha. So believe it or not, you and Dot from the block. Use a thought. 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 I thought your degrees were your ticket out. Use a thought. You're back with the guys you used to laugh about. Playing a role, you're not a hoe, say you're not a thigh. You need to see reality, you was a BMT. Who would thought it'd be ya? Another Ku Klux Keisha. So believe it or not, you a thought from the block. Use a thought. Use a thought, use a thought, use a thought. Use a thought, use a thought. So believe it or not, use a thought, use a thought, use a thought. Believe it or not, use a thought, use a thought, use a thought. Believe it or not, use a thought, use a thought. So believe it or not, you a thought from the block. Use a thought. Hey, look, you ain't paid my motherfucking rent for 9 months. Nah. Hell nah, I don't want no motherfucking sex. I'm Mr. Palmer, bitch. I don't do that sucker shit. Better have my motherfucking money. Okay, yeah. What I don't understand, how you be so strong. and be so independent and be a bum. Bum, bitch. You got help from government daddy, and you get them PPP loans. Yet you haven't paid shit, so you need to get gone. You haven't paid your fucking rent for a whole 9 damn months. Hell no. Got my crib all smelly and nasty from trash and blood. Oh, hell no. Fuck this, get the fuck out. Fuck you being homeless and the least wanted. Is your addiction notice? So yeah, get the fuck out of here. Your ass getting the big thing. Your ass is about to get the boot. Your ass getting the big thing. Your ass is about to get the boot. Your ass getting the big thing. Your ass is about to get the boot. Your ass getting the big thing. Evicted. Your ass is about to get the boot. Your ass getting the big thing. Your ass is about to get the boot. Your ass is about to get the boot. Your ass getting the big thing. Your ass is about to get the boot.
I come in the name of Jesus by the power of the Holy Spirit. Anybody resisting, can goddamn my ass kiss it.
Listen up, man. I'm not even coming at you like that, all right?
Man, I come in the name of Jesus by the power of the Holy Spirit. It don't matter how you come with me. If you down doing what I'm talking about doing, lawyers and get this book open. Trained in these words to get the poor, the fatherless, and the widows up out of them penitentiaries. If you down with that, you ain't down with that, shut your goddamn ass up. Give me a next caller.
Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth.
Motherfucker, ain't no corrupt communication came out of my mouth. You know what the corrupt communication is? That's when you talk about the devil. He the devil. Your motherfucking communication is corrupted. Whatever, then I'm wrong. You got me now. You got me now. Oh, you figured me out. You fucking income fucking poop. You figured me out. You got me red-handed.
Yeah. Shout out to the Cows gang. What's going on, everybody? Let me see something. Let me see. Got this motherfucker around. There we go. Too much light around here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Cows gang, man. Hope everybody having a good and prosperous Sunday, man. We're going to definitely have a good dialogue. We're going to definitely cook today. I'm back out here in Pennsylvania. You know, I'm out here near Pittsburgh. But this time when I got here, since I had to go through Pittsburgh, I ain't go through a bunch of mountains. I went through that to get through to Pennsylvania, but I ain't not deal with all that. So I'm happy. And the weather's nice here. You know what it is? It's nice. I ain't ate all day. I've been fasting all day. When I get off this motherfucker, I got a salad and shit. Definitely been drinking that water. And I thought it was gonna be cold out here, man. It's like 75 degrees, I think, you know. But we definitely had to talk about this. You know, the laws have changed in 2023 when it comes to child support, different states. And I want you to understand every year something do change, whether it's one little thing or quite a bit of things. And it might be Mr. Holmes out there in Pittsburgh. Shout out to my brother. Mr. Holmes in the house. If y'all need life insurance, something like that, talk to Mr. Holmes. Him and his brother own State Farm. You know, his birthday just passed too. So wish Mr. Holmes a happy birthday. Put the ones in for my man, Mr. Holmes. I saw that on Facebook, I think a couple of days ago or yesterday and shit. Not showed him love. You know, happy birthday to you, my brother. Now, of course, it's not never changing to benefit men. No, of course not. But we got to talk about this. You know, every year I want you to understand, even though, see, here's the thing about child support. Child support adds something every year. It might be something minor, it might be something big. They don't put it on the news. It don't be in the fine prints of the newspaper. You actually got to go there and look it up. That's how I know what changed in child support in Illinois. But I don't say shit because I don't need no baby mama test find out. You know what I'm saying? So I look at that and say, okay, that's not gonna hurt me, but why put it out there? You know what I'm saying? And I want y'all to know, if you're in these different states, that this is what's going on for 2023. So just understand, every year they add something to that equation, and it's never a benefit for the men. And hell, it ain't even never benefit for the child. It's only the benefit for government daddy. On that note, you cannot make this shit up. Now, well, yeah, I got this shit going on. Yeah. So I couldn't do this by myself. I definitely couldn't do this by myself. I had to get somebody who I know would assist me and definitely make motherfuckers mad right along with me. You know, so I had to get Dallas D up in this motherfucker, because I said, hey, let's talk about this together. You know, but I want you to understand that, again, this system is not designed to benefit the child. I don't give a fuck what the fuck these motherfuckers say. I don't give a fuck what these motherfuckers say, because the law says different, the action says different, the judge says different. That lawyer we talked about a couple of days ago, what I talked about losing millions and possibly multiple millions and shit like that, hundreds of millions. They let you know that it's not about the child, or it's not even about men being fathers. I'm telling you, it's about helping the poor. Remember that bullshit he said? It's gonna make the poor lose a lot of money. When the fuck they give a fuck about the poor? They don't give a fuck about the poor. They use the poor for their capital gain. This is why I tell y'all, when y'all talk about Democratic this and Democratic that, they're no different. If you want to call Republicans racist, fine. Democrats are no different from them motherfuckers. And here's the number one prime example. Now, you know, Republicans saying hell no to reparations for black people, right? But guess what? Democrats say the same thing. They say hell no to reparations. So both of them are Klan to me. So when y'all motherfuckers talk that shit, about Democrat, Republican, and all that shit, I want you to understand that they all one of the same. But Republicans would tell you, nah, we ain't with this shit. We don't want link cards. We don't want this. They'll tell you up front. Democrats, on the other hand, would turn around and, make it sound good. They with it, but they really not with it. So this is why I'm telling you that when it comes to family court, neither one of them is for fathers and fathers' rights. Neither one of them. Democrats talk that bullshit. They let you know up front that we need that money. Republicans saying the same thing because we need that money. So when it comes to child support, neither one of them is for fathers. Neither one of them. But it don't take away the Democrats' history of sending black people off. And the thing about it is they continue to send us off, because as a whole, our dumbass still vote Democrat. They call Trump racist, but you have a motherfucking president who's a Democrat that made a crime bill and locked up a lot of black folks, black and destroyed black family structures and shit like that. Not just the baby mama tariffs. Then people want to brag about a black female vice president, which she ain't African American. And also, she laughed when she was the governor or some shit, state's attorney in California, when she was keeping innocent men locked up, even though they realized that they didn't do the crime. Ha ha he and all that shit. And y'all brag about this motherfucker. So yeah, like I said, they all one of the same. Nah, she's she ain't black shit. But if that's what y'all want to use, that's fine with me, I guess. So without further ado, I gotta let Dallas D come in here. I want her to open it up and speak her piece before we get this shit started and help make motherfuckers mad. Shout out to Dallas D, folks. Shout out to the lovely pick me, mammy, mama black, daddy straight, Dallas D. You can't make this shit up.
Hey, Mr. Palmer, how you doing? How's everybody in the chat doing today?
Yeah. Shout out to Dallas D. How you
Hope
doing?
everybody's hope everybody's good. I'm enjoying this weather. It's 75 degrees today and it's been cloudy all day. So my kind of day. I went for a little 4 mile walk
Yeah.
today. Beautiful weather. But yeah, I'm glad you brought up the point you brought up because there was a few people that were in the chat talking about they hope that these new bills are going to be beneficial to fathers.
Shit.
Because what we do know is that all politicians, whether Republican or Democrat, are real good at packaging up BS bills wrapped up in real pretty boxes. A couple of these bills do sound like they may benefit the child, but we do know that the family court system was built on this supposed best interest of the child. But for the last 50 years, we've been seeing that they haven't been benefiting the child, they're not benefiting the community, and they're not doing anything to better the situations of single moms or single parent households. So I'm real interested to get into some of these bills that they're introducing, and we pulled out a few states today. And not to say that these are the only states that have made changes; these are just a few of the stories that we pulled out. Just a real quick overview. We're going to talk about Louisiana, who's trying to challenge a current law that they have that prohibits $100 minimum for child support. We got New York, who is making changes to their child support debit card. They've also introduced an income cap of $163,000 a year. We got Minnesota, who's implemented a $50 a month minimum with a $10 a month increment per child for certain income levels. And they've also talked about adjusting the percentage in income that's being withheld if you make more than what allow you to pay the minimum, but still the percentage that you have been getting charged for child support is more than you can afford. So they did talk about that. You got North Carolina, who's also making income changes. They've introduced a new minimum $50 a month bill. And Ohio is trying to reintroduce automatic 50-50, but of course, that's being met with some opposition, of course. So yeah, we're gonna talk about a lot of those changes, and I'm just ready to get into it.
Yeah. Now, remember what I told y'all about the equal parenting, making it automatically. I want you to understand, even if they do pass it and make it automatic, if that shit ain't pushed by the people, it's going to sit on the table, just like in Illinois. It's still sitting on the table. They passed it, but it's still sitting on the table. Colorado got mandatory equal parenting time, right? But what they don't tell you in the fine print, and I talked about this last year or a few years ago, the judge can override it and for some reason say, no, I don't feel that he deserves equal parent time. And I'm not talking about being a criminal or some type of rapist or something like that. I mean, just say, hey, I don't think he deserves it. And ain't nothing you can do about it. That's what I say, they full of shit. So even if they pass it, the judge can actually say, no, I don't think he should get it. It's still based off the judge. So I just want you to understand that. You know what I'm saying?
And even if they do pass 50-50, it doesn't mean that it's going to have any effect or make any changes to your child support. Because according to the Bradley Amendment, there are no retroactive reductions. So it's not guaranteed that 50-50 will make any difference in your current child support payments. But what's crazy is I really do agree, even though I don't support the system of family courts, I don't support what child support is, I don't even support what welfare is. I do agree that a child can definitely benefit from having more income in the house than the single income household that they are currently living in. That's in any situation. But if we're not regulating how that money is being spent, then what we've seen is that this money is not benefiting the child. We've seen what most of these single mothers are doing with child support money. They're getting hair done, nails done. They're going to Dubai, going on all these girls' trips, living their best life, shopping sprees, Gucci bags, Tiffany bracelets. That's what they're doing with all the child support money. You got all the videos of women complaining about in 2020. All the women were sitting around there complaining that they couldn't afford upgraded internet for their children but every last one of y'all I saw had your hair done. So I'm like, what? So yeah, it's crazy. So, but even if they pass it, it sounds great, but it may not have any impact on what you're currently paying in child support.
Hey, but check this out. Let me ask y'all brothers a question. Imagine a baby mama terrorist that makes $140,000. Somebody making six figures in a professional career, got their degrees and shit, and they getting child support. Might be $300, might be $400, might be $500 in a blunt amount, right? You make $140,000 and you getting $300, $400, $500. Now, these the ones that say they're strong and independent. These the ones that say they can do better all by their damn self. These the ones that said, I don't need that broke money, right? Why the fuck, if that's the case, why the fuck these motherfuckers do not have that child support saved for the 18 years or the 10 years or the 5 years? So when the kid get 18 or 21, she say, here's the money from the child support. This is saved. Here you go. You can have it. You can go to school with it. You can put it in your pocket. You can do whatever you need to do. And this is why I tell you, have these baby mama terrorists who make six figures, got money, but ain't got nothing to show for. Now, yes, they got them, their car, they got the house, pay the mortgage, shit like that. But what do you got to show for the kids? Oh, the money that you spend on them instead of saving money, investing money, stuff like that. And these motherfuckers got money. I ain't even talking about the Section 8s. I ain't even talking about the WICs. And this is why I say these baby mama terrorists are not about the children. They definitely full of shit. And the reason why I say that, because if I was making six figures, I'm in a professional career, and I'm getting $500, $300, $600, or whatever. Since I got the money to make ends meet, I would put that money up. And at least if I use the money to take care of the house, I'm not even talking about the ones getting their hair done and all that. I'm talking about they use it to pay bills. I would take half the money if I was to do it and put the rest up for them to have something, because it's really child support. But I get it. The judge say she can do what she please with it. So if she want to buy a Maserati with it, or if she do want to pay for a private school, that's okay. But like I said, that means that baby mama terrorist is overspending that money or doing shit that she don't have to do. Living above the means is what they call it.
Facts.
And when that 18 or 21-year-old, where's the child support money? Oh, we all went to this and went up to that. To me, like I said, you already destroyed that child. And I'm only talking about the ones that got the money that can afford to pay their mortgage.
I think we lost you for a second, Mr. Palmer. Can everybody hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear us. Okay, so y'all can hear me, but you can't hear Mr. Palmer. All right, cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. So yeah, so until we get Mr. Palmer back, so it's interesting. You back, Mr. Palmer?
Yeah, what happened was I said that Wi-Fi doing fuck shit. So I had to run on my hot spot. What's the last thing you heard?
I don't even know.
All right. Well, basically what I'm saying is you got these baby mama terrorists that make six figures. They have the means to take care of the house, take care of the car notes, take care of the kids and everything else. But they still use the child support, and not for the child. They use it for themselves. And they try to use I used it to take care of the house note. I used it to take care of the school. You didn't have to do that. The problem is these baby mama terrorists, these degrees and these six figures and all that shit, they say they strong and independent, and they say they don't need no man. I can do better all by the damn self. That little piece of shit child support ain't shit. Then why don't you give it to the child? Why don't you put it in the bank account? Why don't you put it in the trust? So when they get 18 or 21 years old and done with child support, they'll have a lump sum of money to use to either go to college, to use to invest in something, to use to maybe get their first car, something. But they don't do that. They'll use it for anything else other than the child, but they try to use that, I don't need their money, that broke nigga money and all that shit. But when you ask them, well, what did the kid got put up? Nothing. None at all. So that's what I'm saying, man. These motherfuckers get this child support, talk about child support, but they show use it on somebody else.
And you know, I got one better. I don't understand why, if one parent cannot financially support a child, if the whole object is the best interest of a child, and we're talking about where a child can thrive at, why is that dad is not given the first right of refusal? Even if dad says, I don't want to be a parent, because women get to say it all the time. So even if dad decides to say, I don't want to be a parent, why is he not offered that option? If mom can't take care of this child without government assistance, without child support, without alimony, without some other income coming into the house that she has not obtained through gainful employment, then why isn't that the child is in place with the father? Or say you have a mother. Let's say we do believe that the children belong with the mothers. Let's say society believes that, because that's how most of us grew up. Even if that's the case, that the mother went through a financial period where she wasn't as stable as she wanted to be, why not say, hey, I'm going through a rough time. I'm gonna let little Timmy stay with you until I get on my feet. Hopefully it'll be like a 90-day transition, but just in case it's longer than that, why don't we actually try to work things out? Because the video that you did about your baby mama calling you about the classes, what's funny is they've always managed to know how to communicate with you when they want something extra, but they fail to communicate with you when it comes to abortions. They don't know how to communicate with you when it comes to custody orders. They don't know how to communicate with you when it comes to making a decision for the child. But you mighty funny. You know how to call somebody like a civilized human being to ask for some extra shit.
Exactly. And they do it on a regular. And I just thought about it. I want y'all to see something right quick before we get to the articles. And this is right on time. I saw this on YouTube yesterday from Queen of Accountability. For those who know her, she's always exposing these baby mama terrorists for being who they are. And she's on YouTube, but she's known from definitely on Instagram. And I want you to see something right quick that a baby mama terrorist posted. And she says she's a nurse. And when I went on her page, it looked like she was a LPN, I'm sorry. And because the place is like a nursing home. If you go to a nursing home, most nurses that work in nursing homes are LPNs. They maybe have a nurse practitioner to run the whole thing instead of the doctor's cheaper, or they have an RN, one RN, but they'll hire a bunch of LPNs and CNA shit like that. So, and when I saw that, I said, if she is a nurse, it seems like she's a LPN. And to be honest with y'all, if y'all know about the medical industry a lot of that shit is the LPNs is fading away. They actually in private hospitals, they are not even hiring LPN. They want you to get your degree, your bachelor's, so you can be a RN. They don't even allow you to have a 2-year degree as RN no more. That's how that really changed. Shout out to the lovely gal at night, the person who got more riches from YouTube Galaxy than anybody on the planet. Shout out to the lovely gal at night. Now I want y'all to take a look at this. Yeah, I want y'all to take a look at this. Now I'm gonna read what the bottom say first. Now her name on here is Muddy215. She's from Philadelphia. She said still gotta pay the decorator, get accessories, clutch/bag, and whatever else odds and ends. Meanwhile, this nigga getting $150, or I don't understand. Or I think it's $150.15 a month in wholesaling. So I was confused with that one. Or maybe she means she's getting $1,500. I don't know. But from wholesaling, and she said courting a bum, buying salvage titles, acting like he's pulling off a lot. So in other words, I guess he said you only get $150 a month. Portraying to the people that you super dad. My last time saying this, when you see me, know that be me.
When you see mine.
Okay, when you see mine, know that be me. So she's saying she's the rich nigga in charge, and she's the one doing all this. It's not him, right? So, and that's fine. It sounds good. She said appearance, speech, intellect, morals and values, respect, caring heart, and swag. See, once she said swag, I didn't take this nigga serious, even before then. But once she said she got swag, I didn't take this nigga seriously. Not at all. But I want you to take a look on what's up top with the, and I'm gonna read out loud. But let's take a look at this. Now she's talking about prom. Her daughter went to prom. Daughter's 17 years old. Look at all the things she put down that she had to spend. And one thing that I saw in there, I said, why would you have that for a 17-year-old? And I'm gonna read it out loud. Her dress, $1,500 there. If you get it custom made, that's usually what it is. Shoes, $900. Now I don't know what type of shoes she bought, but she said $900. Hair, $350. Yeah, you know, they spend that money on their hair. Of a videographer or videographer, $400. Send off spot. Now I guess she got a haul or something, $400. Now the lashes, $120. What kind of lashes that cost fucking $120?
If it's her first time getting them and they're singles, that's probably what she make. Depending on where she lives, you might pay that much, but that's a professional install.
Let me know, because I'm not a woman. You might say, nah, that do cost. Okay. Panty and bra set, $100. Food, $500. Liquor, $300.
Hold on. She's paying for her daughter to have sex tonight?
Let me
because my mama didn't buy my panty and bra set when I went to prom.
Let me
that wasn't part of the prom.
Hold on. Let me hold on.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, she bought the dress and all that other stuff, you know, but panty and bra set was not part of the deal when it came to me going to prom in high school.
But did you hear what I said underneath food? For $300. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Men and women on here. What is you buying $300 in liquor for a prom?
And why $500 in food? For what? Did you have a party at the house or something? Because if they go out with their friends, is she paying for everybody, or is that for herself?
Hey, like I said. And then at the bottom, she said, clown of a father contribute $200. So she spent $4,500, $4,570. And he spent $200. Now, he's a bum, a low life and everything. But the problem is, you say this shit and you high mighty, high value, whatever. But you had a kid with this nigga.
But where are the Facebook police at?
It's Instagram.
Where the Instagram police at? Because she just admitted to providing her underage child with liquor. Where the Instagram police at?
Like I said, even Mark said it. Mark said liquor. That's what and that. So while she sit back and call him bums and low life, talking about his you with swag and everything else, that right there is what I'm talking about. You telling me you spent $300 for liquor. So either one, you allow your kids to drink underage, and her friends probably, and you actually put that on social media telling them that you that nigga because you spent $4,500.
Because you know what? If one of my children were going to prom with them and happened to be a friend of her, I would sue that mother if I found out my child had been drinking.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
This is why when these bitches talk that shit about that deadbeat ass nigga, that's why I just look at it and I say, yeah. But you talking about buying alcohol and panties and bra, yeah, probably some sexy shit. So she go out and get fucked. That's why I told you, you can't. I told you, bro. This is why I say don't get in your feelings, because when you actually hear them talking, then you go look and see what they talking. Look at that page. You understand why. And since we on here, I might as well go to a page. Then we can get started.
And then have the nerve to act queen of accountability.
No. Queen of accountability is one who exposed her. She put on her paper.
Okay.
That's not her. No, she's not. No, she ain't never a queen of accountability. Nope.
I thought she was tagging her in it.
No. She actually treated her ass. An old girl told her to eat a dick and eat a bunch of dicks and said, I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. You know, shame, blame, explain, and all that shit. Sign language, and you know, it is and blocked her. So you know, because she couldn't handle the truth when she told her you the one had kids with him, and you know, who buys liquor for who buy liquor for a 17-year-old? And I
Right.
agree. Who buys liquor for they 17-year-old? I wouldn't do that if my son and I.
First of all, I'm an adult and my mother doesn't provide me with liquor now. If you want to
Yeah.
drink, that my mother's always whatever bad habit you have, you support them on your own. My mother does not support anybody's bad habits under no circumstances.
Now, I want y'all to see. I want you to see this right here. Now, of course, when she got exposed by Queen of Accountability, she posted this because she deleted her. I think she deleted her. I tried to find the post that she did with that. She deleted it. She said they want to hit me. They want to hit the like button so bad because everything's fire. Oh, that's everything. But it's you, so they don't. They watching the stories and then they get so mad that they run and make a fake page so they can be the only motherfucker spreading hate when everyone else showing love. So she's talking about Queen of Accountability. So let's go on to now. The problem was nice. She spent bread. She spent that bread. But I want to go down to mama. This is the mama. This is the mama right here. She got 4 kids. I think she got 3 boys she got 3 girls and 1 boy. And I guarantee you that they all different baby daddies. I guarantee you. And she say she a nurse. And like I say, this her. Now, to be honest with you, if you look at you, be like, she like one of the teenagers. Now, she like a fucking kid, like a teenager.
Right.
Now, her stomach shows she had a bunch of kids. But outside of that, if you look at her, she like a fucking teenager trying to be a kid again. I don't take
Yeah,
this
she
nigga
like a chunky teenager.
right. I don't take this nigga seriously. You know, need attention. I don't take this nigga seriously. Tattoos on her chest and shit like that. I don't take this nigga seriously at all. Now, I scroll down, try to look for, her being a nurse. So I looked right here. To me, this don't look like a hospital, like a nursing home. They don't look like it look like a nursing home. It don't look like a hospital. And as you see, that's why I say, look, I don't take this nigga serious. Now you trying to call somebody broke, and she call herself Nurse Ash. I don't
What
know
is
who
on
do
her feet?
some different funny shoes. I don't know who dude it is. I wonder if the baby daddy. I don't know, but this is her. Like this her at the hospital. Like I say, this is like straight up a nursing home.
So
I've
that's
been,
what she doing at work.
yeah, getting attention. But what I'm saying, this shit like a nursing home because I've been to nursing home, and that's how it looked. Yeah, that's what I say. But you calling people broke, and they didn't mention if you see my checks, you will have a heart attack. And I'm like, that what she was saying to her and her baby dad. That's what I'm like, bitch, you're an LPN. You ain't got no motherfucking money. I'm not saying you can't live off of and stack money, but I don't take this nigga seriously. I don't. But you talking about how bum ghetto he is, but you got all these kids, not married, and look at this. The fuck is this? And this is what I'm talking about, man. But these the main motherfuckers talking about some broke ass nigga that you had a kid with. He did because he gave you $200.
Okay.
But he ain't one thing he didn't do. He didn't buy no motherfucking alcohol.
You've been had.
Okay.
You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
And I'm still tripping off of how you done went down to Victoria's Secret to buy your underage child some matching bra and panty sets.
Yeah, 100%. This is why I tell you that these baby mama tears try to make that piece of shit ass so-called deadbeat look bad, but I look at them like you make yourself look worse. Now, of course, a bunch of motherfuckers was saying, yeah, that's right, you a good mama, you did this, you did that, and all that shit, but no one's gonna call out about the alcohol except people who actually think with logic. Okay, he a deadbeat or a low life, but you buying alcohol for your daughter that's not even grown. That's why I don't take these motherfucking niggas seriously.
Yeah. So I guess she didn't have to put the price of the condoms in there. She probably just gave her some out of her purse.
Nah, probably get out of purse and probably be honest with you. She probably said, "Hey man, if he's skeeting you, that's on him." That's on him.
Yeah.
Oh, it is what it is. It
But
is
yeah, I
what it
would really like to know where the Instagram police are at, because you literally just admitted to giving an underage child liquor on social media.
only when a man do it. Only when a man do it. Shout out to my man Supreme 10 for the $20 donation. She said women like getting resources put into her. Children take resources from her. Shout out to you, my brother.
Or provide them with more resources than they could obtain on their own.
Yeah, you're right.
Because a lot of them have check babies.
Oh, you already know we know that. Now you know what? Man, I owe this brother an apology. Let me go back to it because when I did my last show, I did not notice till I got off. My man, Hated Poet, and I hope he's in here. If not, I owe you. He sent a $50 cash app because he wanted me to play that Clifford Burns for that because it was a Clifford Burns moment. And I apologize to you, brother, because I didn't see it till after I got off. But shout out to Hated Poet for the $50 cash app. He said, we need Clifford Burns. Time for Christmas Eve. So on that note, I'm going to play it. Plus for this bullshit ass child support so-called changes and add-ons, it's time for it. So I hope you're in here. If not, if I see him in here, I'll definitely do it again on the house. Shout out to my man, Hated Poet.
Christmas Eve, and they're calling my lawyer for 2 payments, telling him there's a warrant going out for his arrest. Where does he live? I got a fucking apartment in the post office box because I don't want people bothering me anymore.
Shout out to Hated Poet.
Clifford.
Yeah, shout out to Hated Poet, man. So we can definitely get this thing started. I just wanted to show y'all, they talk this shit. That's why I don't take these niggas seriously. I don't.
Oh, but I do apologize to the chat. I'm not doing the camera today. I got a lot going on in the background, so my apologies to the chat.
No, it's all good. I understand. See, I got me a couch to lay on today. I got a nice couch on right behind me. I'm gonna lay on when I get the fuck out of here. So I understand.
You ain't got to worry about that being repoed.
No, not this one. No, it's rented just it's rented for the day.
That's what's up.
So yeah, we got the first one up, which is bill to change Louisiana's child support laws advance. That's the first one. A bill to change Louisiana's child support laws advances. So let's see, what is this about? Everybody hit the like button. That's one thing that is free, and definitely subscribe to the channel if you're new, and definitely donate to the channel. I'm definitely trying to keep, my couch at home from being repossessed, errands and rent a center. Also, to let y'all know, the new video on BMT Chronicles is up. I put it in the community tab. It's about she's 20, I want to say she got 25 years for murdering her daughter. The reason why she murdered her 5-year-old daughter, because the father was fighting for custody, and this was in Ohio. Her name is Minoka Carr Neely. And she pleaded guilty. She got 25 years, which that ain't shit. And that she did it when the little girl was on the phone with her paternal grandmother. She knocked the phone out, whatever, stabbed her 5 times, 6 times. And the mother called back and she told her that she's dead. She's with God, and God's gonna get you, or Jesus is gonna get you. So definitely check out that unfortunate story about this low-life baby mama terrorist. Definitely check it out.
I watched that this morning. That was a hard one. Yeah.
And to let y'all know, Dallas D will also be narrating on that channel. Me and Dallas D got some stuff lined up we're gonna be doing together. Definitely spread, what need to be spread. So she will be on there in the next few weeks doing the narrating as well. So definitely subscribe to the channel. Definitely support the channel. That's a whole nother avenue. It ain't about child support. It's about these baby mama terrorists and these simple forces who destroying our children and destroying good fathers. So y'all definitely, and men, period. So definitely support and subscribe to that channel. Somebody put the link in the chat for me. I'll pin it to the top. So, man, I saw that, Trey. I saw it. I'm gonna try to set that up too. So go ahead, Dallas D. Let's talk about this Louisiana's child support laws.
So yeah, Louisiana's introduced a bill that has advanced. So what they want to do basically is make a change to the current child support law. And what the current law says is it basically prohibits them from giving $100 monthly minimum in child support unless there's a situation where there's shared custody or something of that nature, but not necessarily based on anybody's income. So they're trying to introduce a bill that allows them to set that at a minimum so that people that, low income people can benefit from that, or people who have maybe don't necessarily meet the state minimum, they will be able to benefit from this. But of course, that's being met with some opposition. But yeah, we can go ahead and let the video play.
Now, before we continue, before I press play, for people that kind of don't understand, like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I don't understand, break it down for them right quick.
So right now, I don't even know what the state minimum in Louisiana is right now. But right now, what they want to do is they want to be able to assist lower income individuals and have a lower minimum monthly payment in child support. And the law that is currently on the books prohibits them from establishing $100 a month minimum. So the only way you can get $100 a month minimum currently is if you have some kind of shared parenting bill or some kind of shared parenting agreement. I don't know exactly what the rules and regulations are around that shared parenting. I'm sure everybody who has shared parenting isn't paying $100 a month, but it doesn't have anything to do with anybody's income status. It doesn't have anything to do with how much money you make. So they want to be able to make that $100 a minimum so that anybody who is low income, they can have their child support payments reduced. And of course, any reduction in child support payments, you know who that disadvantages.
Yes, and it's not the baby mama terrorist, just to let y'all know, it's good old government debt. Yes, I'll go ahead and press play. Oh, go ahead, Dallas.
No, I'm just gonna because she's still gonna get the same amount of assistance whether you paying that child support or not.
Right, and that's to me for people who got link card, WIC, and all that shit, right?
Right.
It seems like it. So let's get this thing started.
Start you off tonight with a warning for the state coming from Washington over the current child support laws. Thanks for being here at 5. I'm Scotty Hunter.
And I'm Tisha Powell. Lawmakers have been told they need to make changes when it comes to the minimum amount paid in child support. Capitol correspondent Chris Rosado is here to break it all down for us.
Yeah, that's right, guys. To put it simply, Louisiana was given a verbal warning from Washington last year to update our child support laws, or we could see some crucial federal dollars withheld. Currently, Louisiana's child support law prohibits courts from setting a mandatory minimum child support payment of less than $100, with the exception of shared or split custody or a medical disability.
And so now the federal government is saying that is in conflict with what should be done.
So to put us back in compliance, Representative Barbara Carpenter's bill would change the law to allow a judge to set the minimum payment amount based on the evidence presented in each case.
So we're still going to present the evidence. Everything's going to go according to how everything was before. This just gives the judge or the hearing officer the discretion to set the judgment under $100 if that's what I present to them.
Secretary for DCFS Terry Ricks tells me if we fail to fix our laws, then we would miss out on crucial federal dollars.
We would.
And I want you to understand what she said. Did y'all hear that? I'm gonna play it again on what she said. It's not about the best interests of the children. I wish y'all would understand that's not what it's about. It's about the best interests of government debt to get their money reimbursed from federal fund. I want you to really understand this. Now, don't get me wrong. It benefits these baby mama terrorists because they get a cut from that man's check, but it don't benefit the child. And that's sad that these baby mama tails are so worried about themselves versus the child, and is affecting the father, is affecting the family, household, and everything else. But let's hear what she just said again. Notice it's all women doing the talking, this bullshit.
We would miss out on crucial. We fail to. Secretary for DCFS Terry Ricks tells me if we fail to fix our laws, then we would miss out on crucial federal dollars.
We would be at risk of losing the federal funding, and that equals up to about $250,000 a year of funding with the TANF grant, the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families grant, as well as the child support federal dollars.
These funds. The shit that she's talking is no different from that Illinois lawyer that came out and said it's going to affect the poor people, which we already know. No, it's going to affect Gummy Daddy. Millions and hundreds of millions of money will be lost. Let me let Denzel speak on behalf of Malcolm X before we listen to what this dude got to say.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Yes,
and what's crazy about it is for them to sit there and act like it's going to impact the poor, like it's going to impact single parents across the country.
Federal
That's not.
dollars.
Go ahead, D. I'm sorry. I'm trying to line it back up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say for them to be sitting up there acting like, it's going to impact this, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not, because all of these programs are funded through TANF grants. So if they're funded through TANF grants, that money is provided to you through federal taxes that are collected from every individual who has a W-2 job. So that's where all of that assistance comes from. What happens is when they decide that, okay, now since Title 4D is coming to play, we're going to sue the father or the non-custodial parent to get reimbursed for the services that we provided. So first of all, I never understood how the hell am I paying back a grant, because last time I checked, grants didn't have to be paid back. Second of all, if somebody's going to owe a debt, it ought to be the person that borrowed the debt. So I don't know how you're charging somebody else that debt. But that's basically what they did. So these individuals would still get that money regardless, because it comes through federal funding from tax dollars that are already collected. They just happen to get additional money the more money they can collect from you in child support. So for them to say it's going to impact the poor, if it does, it's because they're not passing through money to families as they should.
Exactly. Let's see what this dude got to say.
These funds are used for family support and reunification and provide critical resources to at-risk families across Louisiana.
Other things that could face funding issues would be money for pre-K, child protection investigations, and even programs for domestic violence prevention and homelessness, along with several others.
Since the bill wouldn't really make any procedural changes to the courts, nobody on the panel today was really opposed of passing it out of committee. Guys?
All right, Chris, thank you.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. If it wouldn't make any procedural changes, then the procedure that I would be worried about is if they're gonna say, okay, we can set a minimum payment at $100 or less based on financial attributes. If they're gonna say the judge has the discretion to use the evidence has been presented, every guy I know has presented evidence in court showing what he has done for the child, but what have they always considered? The Pampers that you bought, the money you put in their hand, the crib that you bought, that's always been considered gifts, right?
Right.
It's never been considered child support, but that's exactly, if I was giving them money and they were using the money responsibly, that's exactly what that money would have paid for. So if you've always looked at that previously as gifts, and now you're saying that we're going to look at the evidence that's presented to determine if we can set a lower payment. So if we're going to look at their income now instead of automatic, like the state of Texas, the minimum child support, I think it's $252, somewhere around there per month. So now we're saying we're going to allow an individual to pay $100 because they don't make enough money to pay the $252 minimum that's currently here. It's just crazy that how they're acting like this is going to impact the children when it's going to have a bigger impact on the fathers and allow them to be more financially stable, which would have a positive impact on everybody's children.
Exactly. That's definitely a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
But they've never cared about non-custodial parents' financial stability.
And that's because they don't give a fuck about the non-custodial parent. All they care about is reaping the benefits of that non-custodial parent. They do not care. They don't care at all. I want to give a shout out to Supreme 10 for being a member of the appellate course for 20 months. So that's over a year and a half. He says the matching funds given to the state from the federal government funds the state budgets across the country. And he's actually telling the truth.
Facts.
He's actually telling the truth.
If you remove the incentives, a lot of these child support cases, these income withholding orders wouldn't be going down right now. Remove the incentive.
They know that. They know that a lot of them will be more careful. A lot of them would not just have kids just because. A lot of them wouldn't be thinking about getting a come up because they're not going to get rewarded for their bad behavior and they fucked up decisions.
Right. But that would be easy to reverse. All the federal government will have to do is say, we're not going to provide incentives for broken families, but we will provide incentives for intact families
100%.
Who are struggling.
100%. So now, let's all cruise down the street to New York. Let's go to New York because New York child support debit card changes implemented. So let's talk about good old New York. And we already know about New York, the worst family court system in the nation. As y'all see, there's some changes made when it comes to child support in good old New York City of 2023. So I'll go ahead and read this. I'll make it bigger. I don't think there's no video for this one. Now,
I don't think
what
so.
it says, what it says is a significant change that impacts those living in New York State who receive child support funds via New York State issued debit cards has been put into place. New Yorkers are urged to pay close attention to a few more upcoming dates for changes. New New York State child support debit card has been issued. Those accustomed to using their New York State issued child support debit card without paying close attention to transactions may want to take notes of this. So let's see what they're talking about. Back at the end of March, direct deposit to the Bank of America prepaid debit child support card, parentheses, the one with the Apple design on the front stopped. As of March 31st, 2023, all payments will have now begun processing the new Way to Go card.
Mr. Palmer, I want you to go back up to that first sentence in that last paragraph.
The last one?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah, the new So it says those accustomed to using their New York State issued child support debit card without paying close attention to transactions may want to take note. First of all, if you're collecting child support and you're not financially stable if you're collecting child support, right? Whether you getting food stamps, WIC, I don't care what it is, state assistance, whatever the case may be, you are not financially stable. You are not strong and independent. So if you are supposed to be, getting money to assist you, you're supposed to be making wise decisions with money. How can you not be paying attention to your transactions? Anybody who manages a home should pay attention to the transactions. So are they admitting that they know that the grand population of recipients doesn't pay attention to their transactions? They just out here swiping.
I say bingo. You got that right. You got that right. Now, but I mean, they even though they're doing this, they don't give a fuck. They don't. I have heard the motherfucking judge say it numerous times to motherfuckers. She has the right to do what she pleases with it. And judges in Illinois, outside of Illinois, they tell fathers, hey, she's not using the money for the child. She has the right to use that money as she pleases. She will not get penalized for using it on herself. Using on some bill that she knows she had to pay before she had kids. They don't care.
And that's why you can't say the child support benefits a child, because there's no regulating how that money is being spent.
Exactly. Now, to the next paragraph. Remaining funds on the old New York State cards will not vanish. You will need to use the funds until the account is depleted, but no new fund will go into that card, but rather the Way to Go card and account instead. Two important things to know. Let's see what the two important things. After August the 2nd, 2023, if you lose your old card or it gets stolen, you will not be issued a new card. Customers will have the opportunity to transfer funds onto the Way to Go account, but not utilize the lost or stolen card. If there are funds remaining in your Bank of America prepaid debit card account after October the 1st, 2023, you will need to contact Bank of America via the telephone number on the back of the card for further information on how to attain the balance. I tell you, everybody's getting paid off child support. Banks, your job, definitely government, everybody, because even they charge a Walmart, even they charge a $2 fee to process your shit or take your money or shit like that, your job, they get $5 or $2 times all these dudes on child support, 87.5% in the nation.
Right. It's another state, now that you brought that up, I forgot which one, but it's another state that's allowing Apple, Google, and Venmo payments. So they're going to start making money on child support transactions.
Everybody can eat off this except us. It says, how does the Way to Go child support card work in New York State? Just with the New York State issued cards that are being phased out, the Way to Go card can be used in the same way as a debit card at all MasterCard locations. There are also certain retail stores that allow cash back without any associated fees, access to your funds without a fee at financial institutions except MasterCard, as well as certain ATMs with no bank fees. Now,
so I gotta work for my money and I pay a fee. You get free money.
That's all I'm going to say. I use my debit card at a bank that's not related to that debit card. They charge $3. They charge $2. These pay moneters don't have to worry about a fee. They don't have to worry about a fee. I told
and
you,
I'm
man.
sorry, you shouldn't be able to use that like an ATM, like a debit card.
Now, Dallas D. Now, you know these motherfuckers use that shit as like no different from paying dollars at a goddamn hair salon.
I feel you. It's nail salons that take those little debit cards. I know nail salons have signs up that say they take those cards.
I can't get mad at the businesses. Money is money. Hey, you got places now. You got not restaurant, but you got local restaurants that take link cards for fast food. Not just the corner stores, not just Arab stores. It's one in the burbs called Real and Hook, where they sell shrimp, fish, and all that stuff. They take link cards.
And I don't blame the business either, but I do blame the institution who issues the card. Why are you not setting limitations on that? Because you can restrict where your card is utilized at.
I agree, but guess what?
Shit.
That ain't that one. She had the right to do what she pleased with the motherfucker. Now check this out. The important things to remember are to watch the balance on the Bank of America prepaid debit card account and try to use all funds prior to the October 1st deadline. For the latest updates, visit the New York State Child Support Services website.
So does that mean it's going to be a lot of people who didn't get this notification? Because, they don't talk about this kind of stuff in the news for real.
No.
So a bunch of women who didn't get this notification going to be trying to swipe their card and find out there ain't no funds on there. So they're going to be acting a fool at retail locations?
Yes, basically. For those that want to check out that link, if y'all want to click on there and look out, it's definitely, it's right there. And they'll tell you everything. Stefan, I don't know about the one in Crestwood. I think they all take it, to be honest with you. But they take link card. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. That's it. And to be honest with you, let me ask you this dumbass question, Dallas D. What is the difference? What is really the difference of having this debit card versus the Bank of America card? What really is the difference?
I don't know, but I'd be interested to know why Bank of America lost that contract, or I'd be interested to know that.
Well, I guarantee you, I'm just guessing off top of the dome that it's going to be cheaper dealing with way to go versus Bank of America. And you know, good old government daddy want to save much money as possible.
You know what? You might be right.
That's just my opinion. They don't do nothing unless it's going to benefit them. I think, in my opinion, they're doing it because it might be cheaper.
You might be right.
Yeah, might be cheaper. Might be cheaper.
Now, so they've increased their profit margin.
Exactly. Thank you. You just said it. Now, we got one in Minnesota. Now, Minnesota is the state that said that it's illegal. It's illegal, says the Supreme Court out there. But I told y'all, when it comes to that, it's certain shit that was written, not about child support, not about cussing, not about none of that shit. But I had told Nat Muscles or anybody that's in Minnesota, find out and let me know if it's about those things. Because I was told by some lawyers and people out there that, I ain't got nothing to do with the child support. It's in the writings of the child support. But if y'all find something, let me know so I can put it out there. So y'all go ahead and try to knock that shit off y'all goddamn bill statement. You know what I'm saying? Now, this one right here. New child support guidelines effective January the 1st. This is in Minnesota. So anybody in Minnesota, take heed of this. Go ahead, Dallas D.
All right. So these are some of the new guidelines that went into effect of January 1, 2023. They're supposed to improve parity between parents and make it easier for them to support their families. While the updated guidelines will affect everyone who gets or modifies a court order for child support, the changes will likely have the most common impact or the most impact on families with lower incomes and families that include either parent's child, but not a child both parents had together. That's interesting. That's
now,
very interesting.
Let people know what they mean for anybody be like, I don't really get it.
So it sounds like now they're going to consider the fact that maybe if you're the non-custodial parent who's paying child support, but you also have a current wife with children, that they would take those children into account when making adjustments for the child support into another house, that you have other children to support. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's what I got from it too. So in other words, if you married, you got other kids, now they give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. But how much of a consideration they're going to say that? Because I know men who went to court and say, hey, man, I got 2 other kids and I'm married or I'm not married and I'm already paying child support for 1 kid. So, and them motherfuckers still max it up to the same amount or close to of what he's already paying. We saw that with Tyrese.
And even if they do that, are they still going to keep, because most states factor in the first child, there's always going to be the highest amount paid for the first child, and then it's low increments after that. So if they're still going to do that, and the children you're paying child support for are the first kids, then that may not be beneficial to you either.
Exactly. That's all, you could tell you. I just want to make sure people understand this shit. Go ahead.
All right. So the 2021 legislation to change the guidelines was based on recommendations from the Minnesota Child Support Task Force to remedy known issues and increase fairness to parents, resulting in child support orders more tailored to individual situations. Sounds good. So
they should have been doing that. I'm sorry to cut you off. They should have been doing that. They should have been. That's what I'm saying. They should have been did that shit. And even then, they still gonna try to find somewhere to fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They should have. They talking about increase the fair. That right there, they just saying that they was never fair to the other parent. They saying that right there. The remedy for known issues and increase fairness to parents. See, I told y'all.
Okay.
I want y'all to understand what I said and what Dallas D just read. They said that it's for this Minnesota Child Support Task Force to remedy known issues and increase fairness to parents. Now, let me and I don't know why they say parents. They need to say fairness to fathers. Now, my thing to y'all is, people say it, even these judges, these lawyers, your mamas and these baby mama test say that this system is fair. It's not the child. Why the fuck they got to put that in their goddamn law books in order to make it fair if it's so fair and all that shit?
Well, first of all, if they're talking about men, they have to say parents. They cannot single you out like they're doing anything for you. That's first of all.
I know, but
And
we
you're
already
right.
know why they say that. You know what they mean when they say parent, men.
Right. But you're right about those known issues. And I wonder if the only reason why you're addressing it now is because of the way social media has basically been an echo chamber for child support unconstitutionality.
Notice they won't find remedies and known issues to increase fairness of the fathers based off child abuse, based off child neglect, and based off motherfucking child fatalities from these baby mama terrorists.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Oh, but I see the first contradiction. So the very next paragraph.
Go ahead.
These
No.
These new child support guidelines better reflect the current cost to raise children and will result in child support orders that are more consistent with similarly situated families, says Assistant Commissioner Tiki Brown, Minnesota Department of Human Services. Now, the problem I have with that statement is if you're going to talk about the cost of raising a child in today's inflated environment, it's mighty funny you want to make that adjustment now when prices are inflated. So if we're going to make adjustments to child support based on guidelines that reflect the current cost of raising a child, everything is inflated right now. Or did they go off? And that's just right now, I think we're sitting at like 4.5%, maybe over 4.5% inflation rate. If this went into effect in January, if they took January's inflation rate, we were like at 8% in January. So that would be a contradiction. If they're saying we're going to allow for lower child support for lower income families, but we're also going to base the current child support on the cost of raising a child, and they're going to use January's CPI.
Before you continue reading, my sister, I want you to see y'all queen over there in Minnesota by the name of Tiki Brown. You know, the Assistant Commissioner of Children and Family Services. I want you to see your queen. And I'm going to read what she about, who she is, whatever. Now, Tiki Brown serves as an Assistant Commissioner for Children and Family Services of Minnesota Department of Human Services. She is responsible for services and policies that promote adoptions, foster care, child protection, child support, child care, refugee services, and cash and food support, meaning food stamps, WIC, and everything else. She will focus on supporting Governor Waltz and Lieutenant Governor Flanagan's stance to make Minnesota the best place for children to grow up. That's a lie. While advancing equality and inclusions for the children and families where we serve.
You know what that sounds like to me? Now, I don't know about everybody else, but word placement is important to me. And maybe that's just me just because, because of my job. And if you send an email to individuals, the first name you mention is the first person, the most important person in the email chain, and it just goes down the list. So the fact that the first two things she mentioned were adoption and foster care, to me, that sounds like you care more about, and I'm going to tell you what it triggered. When you went down and talking about advancing equity and inclusion, you already know what they mean by inclusion.
Yes.
And then the fact that you focused on adoption and foster care first, because child protection would have been the first on my list. And I'm not saying that that's how it was written for her. I'm just saying for me.
I told you I don't give a fuck about these children. But let them know about the equality and inclusion. So anybody that don't understand what that is.
We all know that's the alphabet game.
Exactly. I want to give a shout out to my man Reese for Over East for the $5.99 cash app. Definitely appreciate you, my brother. Shout out to you. So yes, before her appointment as Assistant Commissioner in 2021, Brown served the Economic Opportunity and Nutrition Assistant Director. She led housing and shelter, food shelves, nutrition, education, outreach, employment, and training, community action, and the supplemental nutrition assistant program, and worked with her team to deliver programs and strategies designed for tribal nations, counties, and partner agencies to serve hundreds of thousands of individuals and families with low incomes. Under her direction, she also helped expand services for indigenous people of Minnesota, including supporting Boyas, Forte, Band Chippewa, must be Indian. So what?
Chippewa.
Okay, so Indians. Okay, and becoming the first tribal nation in Minnesota to access the Emergency Food Assistance Program, which provides free food to food shelves in partnership with Food Bank, supporting the lower. How you say that word?
I'm not exactly sure.
Me either. Syux, I might be wrong. Indian community and becoming the first tribal supplemental nutrition assisted program outreach guarantee in Minnesota. Expanding tribal nation administration of SNAP services to Red Lake Nation and White Earth Nation. Now, she got her she graduated from the University of Minnesota Senior Leadership Institute of Humphrey School of Public Affairs and Enterprise Learning and Development, and a fellow of Equality
Equity Leaders in Action Network.
Leaders in Action Build and Initiative. She has volunteered for numerous organizations. I ain't finna read the rest of the shit, but she definitely sponsors the Black Women Employee Resource Group. So I just want to show you who she is for those that don't know, as we talk about, this nigga. So we get back to where we was. I want y'all to know that's the person who's doing this. Go ahead, Dallas D.
So that first sentence is gonna, reflect the cost, the current cost to raise a child, which I would be real interested to see in what time period they're gonna use as the current cost. So we'll see about that. But more than 2 years of dedicated work by the parents, legislators, and child support professionals serving on the task force made this happen. So I'm glad that they did include parents. So here go the new guidelines. One, they're going to use a basic support table to incorporate more up-to-date economic data on the cost of raising a child. The most recent guidelines were based on data from 20 years ago. So inflation now, based on what it was 20 years ago, the cost of milk today compared to what it was 20 years ago?
Nope.
So that means exactly. So that's not going to be a benefit to any non-custodial parent that's paying child support. Don't get me wrong. I understand why it needs to be done if we're really talking about the cost of raising a child. The problem is they don't take into account just the cost of raising a child, because I don't care if you make $5 an hour or $50 an hour. The cost of Pampers and milk is the same at Walmart. So why is it that a man make $100,000 a year versus a man making $50,000 a year aren't paying the same minimum in child support? Why? Because the cost of raising a child is the same. It doesn't change. The cost of milk doesn't change because you make more by the hour.
But they go off your income because government daddy reap the benefits off of it. The more money that you have, the more they take. The less money, the less they take. But they still take it.
Exactly.
With my dumb ass. Let me let my man Pastor David Maddox.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
But y'all say this is fair. Continue.
Yeah, and if child support payments now were based off of economic data from 20 years ago, I would hate to see what those payments gonna look like today.
Yep.
I'm just saying. So they're also going to provide new minimum basic support amounts starting at $50 for one child with incremental increases of $10 per additional child. I would like to know what that minimum, what you would have to make to pay $50 a month for a child and $10 per additional child.
To me, that's somebody that don't work, don't have nothing going on. In other words, to me, they trying to find ways to get money off the poor people or somebody who is low income. They not going to just get the middle, because most men who on child support makes $40,000 an average a year.
Right.
So I don't know. I think that's considered low middle income, whatever.
medium income, I believe. But they want to be able to get any nickel from anybody, even if he only worth a penny. Okay, well, we get 10 cents from this nigga. That's something that's, that's just my opinion. Somebody just got out of jail, somebody served time, somebody that never worked his life, somebody that met a bitch off eBay and shit, but live in a trailer home.
So would they do away with imputed income? Because imputed income allows them to write whatever they want to write if they don't feel like the income that you have is sufficient and that you are underemployed. Would they do away with that? Because if they're not doing away with that, then that doesn't serve a purpose if a judge is still the one that's going to make that determination.
That's what I'm saying. And this is what I was told in Illinois, and I think most states like that. If you ain't working, like she take you to court and you're not working, they go off the cost of living. And they're not gonna say zero. They're gonna say your cost of living here is $20,000. So they're gonna go off you making $20,000, even though you're not making nothing, and that'll be your child support once they go off 15% or whatever the fuck. They're not gonna let you just well, he ain't working, we can't put him on child support. The only way they won't put you on child support if you locked them in jail. They're not supposed to allow this baby mama test put you on child support, but you have some states that allow it anyway. So you can continue. It's crazy.
Yeah, I thought debtor's prison was outlawed in 1833, but here we are.
You're right.
So they're also going to incorporate a low-income adjustment for parents with combined income of $6,000 or less per month. This helps parents who make too much to pay minimum child support but have had child support orders that withhold a percentage of their income they can't afford. Now, that would be beneficial for anybody in that income bracket, but do they actually consider 100% of the custodial parent's income? So when they say combined, because they don't always consider 100% of the custodial parent's income in most states now. So are they going to consider 100% of their income, and together you guys making $6,000 a month?
Now,
and is that gross?
It's always gross. They always go off gross. They never go off your net. Now let me ask you this question. It seems like they're talking about the man who's on child support and his wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem I have with that. Y'all got to be careful with this, y'all. You got some states that go off both incomes. If they find out that you married, and just say you only make $10,000 in a blunt amount per year, right? But your wife makes $30,000. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna combine your fucking income to $40,000, and your child support is gonna be off that $40,000. I think New York do it, California do it, Illinois stopped that shit back in 2014 because the baby mama Terry was like, if you get married, I'm gonna put that bitch on child support. And I'm saying to myself, they stopped that shit back in 2014.
Does that only happen in community property states?
I don't know. All I know is
I'm gonna have to look that up.
All I know is I will say this. When they went off both incomes in 2014, the society made a big stink about that's not fair putting the wife on child support or going off her income. That ain't my kid, and I shouldn't have to suffer because of him.
Right.
And they got rid of it. They actually got rid of it. I was shocked. But they stopped it in Illinois in 2014. They used to go by both incomes. They stopped it. Yep. And if I'd have been in the state where I had to put my wife in a situation where she's gonna get harassed and frozen checks in account, I wouldn't marry her. I wouldn't even marry because I don't think it's fair to her that she had to go through the bullshit of something that this baby mama Cass is doing to me.
Right.
So we wouldn't get married or go to another state because that motherfucker would definitely try our best to get that bitch income too, especially if somebody that look better and somebody that you made a left for. Oh yeah, you can definitely do that. I won't lie.
Right. And before you become a roommate in that state, check their common law state laws too.
Oklahoma, Tennessee, you got some states that you be there a month or two, she can get fucking spousal support from you. Oklahoma's one of them. That's they ain't known for that shit. So that's what I say. You got to know the laws, man.
You gotta know them laws, and you ain't gotta have no kids, bitch. You could continue, but it seems like to me they try to get money off both incomes.
Right. So yeah,
Mhm.
so if you really do, but even then, if they're going off of gross, and even if it's at 6,100 gross, that's not a lot of money. And I'm sorry that they need to always look at net, because I can't do anything with gross, not at all. I don't budget my life off of gross. My life is budgeted off of net. So, but another thing they're doing is they're going to extend the cap on parents' combined income to $20,000 per month. Okay, so if both parents combined make $20,000 a month, are they saying that that's what's going to be the cap at estimated cost for child support? So that's interesting. Um, they're also going to assure that in families that include either parent's child, but not a child both parents had together, the children
Mm.
are counted fairly for the purposes of income deductions. Now, this I like. This I actually like, because they should have always considered that. Because even if I do have this one child over here that I'm financially responsible for, even the men that don't mind paying child support, the men who have no problem with having money going over to their baby mama's house, even if that's the case, you still have never taken into account the fact that I got 3 other kids by my current wife that I'm also taking care of. And if 30% of my check is going to child support over here, Uncle Sam is getting another 20%, state is getting another 3%, then how much money do I actually have to support the children and wife that I have at home?
Facts, 100%.
So I do like that they would actually consider, and if they're gonna consider them all fairly, that at this individual non-custodial parent has 4 children to take care of, whether it's 3 by his wife and 1 by the baby mama, 1 by the wife and 3 by the baby mama. The fact that he has 4 children to take care of, and we're going to take into account all 4 children. And if you were paying child support for all 4, this is what we would divide it by all 4. However many kids you got over here, that's the money that's going over here. That would be fair if we're going to hold on to child support. That's fair.
Baby mama Tez ain't like that.
Hell no, especially the ones that's the first time moms. Now that would impact them. If they got the first child, that would impact them.
Yeah, definitely. You continue.
So they would also include deductions for children in these families where parents are legally responsible but do not have a child support order. So is that the stepdad?
Read that again, please.
It also will include deductions for children in these families when parents are legally responsible but do not have a child support order.
Now, what
Or
does
if
that
that
sound like
just
to y'all?
Now that could just be married dad or birth certificate dad who lives in the home, because that's a legally responsible birth certificate dad is a legally responsible dad, whether you're a DNA dad or not. But it could be a stepdad. It could
Yeah,
what's the Eva whatever the model situation
yeah,
where he
he
adopted her.
adopted.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
legally
Let me
responsible.
before you continue. Let me put that down for the dude who I forgot his name. Dude that adopted Eva's daughter.
You fucking income fucking poop.
Man, that was so crazy.
So in other words, that if stepdad is married to her, it brings him to be legally responsible. So is they trying to say they'll consider his income as well? I don't know, but it seemed like stepdad gonna get the short end of the stick, and it don't have nothing to do with him. That's just my opinion. It might not mean that. What you think, Dallas?
I'm still trying to figure out which children they're talking about. Are they talking about the custodial? Are they talking about the non-custodial children that live outside of the home? Or are they talking about the children that the non-custodial parent is residing with? Because I don't know what they mean by these families. So if they're going to include deductions for children in these families where parents are legally responsible but do not have an order, are they talking about wherever there's a child support order, are they talking about the child that lives with the custodial parent, and whether or not somebody else is in the house helping to take care of the child, like a stepfather, or are they talking about if the non-custodial parent is living with somebody where he's legally responsible for their children?
I don't know. I don't know. It can go either way.
Yeah.
But if it is talking about the stepdad or the dude that live there, I don't think it's fair for him to have to put in with this family court shit. You know what I mean? Whether the daddy involved or not.
But if they're talking about somebody else being in the house with the child where that has a custody order on it, honestly and truthfully, I feel that because if there's somebody here, don't get me wrong, I understand you're not responsible for that child, but if you're legally responsible, if you adopted that child, then that means
that's different.
First of all, I shouldn't even have a child support. There shouldn't even be a child support if there's an adoption.
Right.
But if you married this person, if you married this person, you have a legal responsibility as well to tend to the house.
I agree.
Part of taking care of that family. So if they're considering the fact that you also have another income in the house because you're married and somebody else is there providing for this child, then we're going to ease up on him being responsible for 100% if nobody else is in this house helping you financially.
Yeah, if he adopted him and all that shit, then as far as I'm concerned, the biological father shouldn't have to pay shit. I agree.
But what if you just marry somebody and you just a stepdad? You're there financially responsible. You're there being financially responsible for that child. Now, I'm not saying how much of your income you're spending, but you're there paying bills. You are tending to the life of that child financially.
Shit.
Walmart is always hiring.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, but shit, I wish I would. Let's go to the last one. County and state child support. Or did we?
So yeah, huh?
Oh, you? What,
yeah, that was it. That was the last. That was the last change.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, now it just says county and state child support offices provide services to more than 314,000 parents and more than 220,000 children. In 2021, the child support program collected and distributed more than 550 million in child support.
I want you to understand, and I'm laughing, not because it's funny, but when motherfuckers be talking about how's this system generating $60 billion a year? This one state
right
has collected $550 million just in child support, but yet they run around saying, hey, we ain't got no money, hardship, we behind trillions of dollars. And I told y'all, you add up all this shit from each state, it's gonna come out to that. Might be more. 500
and mind you
million.
But mind you, that's collected and dispersed. If they disperse 550 million, they collected way more than that.
But yeah, I agree. But my point is, they say that, men are deadbeats. So if men are deadbeats, how are they getting $550 million in child support? And like Dallas D said, it might be more. But I'm gonna say this one more time. If these dudes that's on child support deadbeats and all that shit, how is they getting all this money?
I never understood that either. The lawyer eating off a deadbeat, the judges eating off the deadbeat, the bailiff eating off the deadbeat, your attorneys eating off the deadbeat, the school eating off the deadbeat, Walmart eating off the deadbeat. You got Apple, Google, Venmo about to eat off the deadbeat. Bank of everybody eating off the deadbeat. I'm like, how?
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
This is why when them motherfuckers talk that bullshit, that's why I be like,
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
And just like that bitch that came, I showed y'all talking about she spent all this money for prom. He only paid $200. You just said you a nurse. You say your checks make him go kill himself. Then pay fucking prom. Shut the fuck up.
Right. Shit. And she said, just know when you see mine, know that's me. Okay. Get your brag on.
Right. Say you did all by yourself. I mean, that sounds good. So now let's go to North Carolina. Good old North Carolina. The new laws will impact child support of 2023 when it comes to good old North Carolina. How can I delete this shit? Okay. How may I help you today? You can't help me with shit, bitch. So yes, let's go to North Carolina. I will tell y'all, when I was in North Carolina, I never been to Charlotte, and I was out there, and I was only out there because of a layover. They canceled the flight, right? I ain't never been nowhere near North Carolina. I'm in Charlotte, so I stayed the night at a loft that cost about, I ain't gonna say that shit because I'm a deadbeat. It was only $2. So I'm in this loft for $2. And when I tell you that that area out there in Charlotte was so nice, upscale, I couldn't believe it. And that's the South. They don't have a downtown in Charlotte. They don't call it downtown. They call it uptown. They don't have a downtown name. Now, of course, we know every place should have a downtown, but they call it uptown. And I ain't seen not one raggedy house, maybe because of the side I was on. I ain't seen not one raggedy house. They had mini mansions out there, $500,000, $1 million house and shit. In North Carolina, I was like, what the fuck? And it was all the places I went to the show. I went to the malls. I mean, it was so nice. I said, I'm going back out again. I call it downtown, but the uptown was so nice because I asked the Uber driver, what's nice around here? Go to uptown. You in uptown? Stay out here. You good. I'm like, man, that shit was nice. And I said, I'm going to fly out there again and kick it. It was cool. And a lot of people actually go out there and visit from all over in uptown. Shout out to Hologram for the $3 donation. She said, translation, po folks won't be allowed kids. Shout out to you, my brother.
That's that Margaret Sanger, ain't it?
You said what?
That's that Margaret Sanger, ain't it?
Oh yeah. Hey y'all, if y'all travel like that, you know, go to Charlotte and check that shit out. The restaurant, I was at the restaurant. I thought I was king shitting in that motherfucker. Using my link card at a restaurant and shit and drunk a little wine and shit. Go check it out, man. It's very nice out there. It's very nice out there. Yeah. Yeah. Now, this one, again, is North Carolina 2023. And it says how it will impact child support. Of course, North Carolina. This was out January the 17th this year. Let me make this big because I want y'all to understand what it's saying. Recently, several new regulations and laws went into effect in North Carolina, including new rules regarding child support payments. According to WCNC, North Carolina's General Assembly updates the state's child support guidelines every 4 years, so these changes were expected. Illinois is every year, so I'm surprised to see every 4 years. Now, the changes involve North Carolina child support guidelines and the formula used to update how much child support parents, let me stop saying parents, how much child support fathers should pay. Check this out. Yeah, see, when y'all see parents, it means fathers because they can't just say fathers. They can't because they want to make it like it's so fair and equal, equality that these bitches say they don't get. Now, a new factors that North Carolina child support formula takes to include both parents' salaries. So in other words, they was doing it the old way. The old way, Illinois was doing it too. They didn't care what she paid. He had to pay 17% or 15%, whatever that shit used to be. And these kids, they went up another 7%, something like that. So now they added with both parents. They have to go off both incomes. Go ahead, Dallas D.
No, I'm just that's bananas. 17% on top of another 7, that's 24%. Uncle Sam getting another 20 to 23%.
And then 3 kids go to 27, I think, and then 32. That's how it went.
At best, you bringing home half of your paycheck. At best.
Yeah.
Best case scenario.
Yeah, back then when some dude had like 6 kids, different baby mamas or the same baby mamas, that's what it was. And she could have made $200,000 a year. They just didn't care what she did. So I will say I'm glad that they're gonna go off both incomes, but I told y'all that both incomes is a gift and a curse. If you're dealing with a woman that makes $5,000 a year and be on eBay looking for niggas, and you make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, you fucked. You fucked. Now, if you're a deadbeat like me, who at the time made $40,000 and the other motherfucker make $130,000, and they divided 2 kids, comes out to $512. Now, if they wouldn't have, they changed this law in Illinois in 2017. If they wouldn't have changed it, I'd be paying about $700, $800. So it benefited me. And this is what I tell y'all, when they first see me on YouTube, motherfuckers said, oh, he mad about child support. He whining, crying about child support. I said, why would I be whining about $500? At least I 128.13 a week. Why the fuck is I'm crying about that? If I was crying about that, then yeah, I'm a low life broke ass nigga, ain't got shit to show for and ain't worth a shit.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
I know some people who wish that was a child support payment.
Exactly. I know men who pay $600 for one fucking kid. So what the fuck I was like getting in my feeling about child support? My issue's always been equal parenting and want to stay involved with my kids. It was never about the amount of child support. Because I even said, I'll pay the child support. Just give me equal parent time.
I know somebody got hit with $1,400 for one kid.
Exactly. So why would I get mad when I see brothers out here paying $1,000, $500, $600 for one kid? So that's why I'm like, I'm mad about child support. Yeah, somebody really lied to you. But whatever you say, pimp. Now, both parents, they're going to add both parents on the salary. Now they say rich parent pays for the children's daycare cost. Now, I'm kind of surprised about that because they didn't give a fuck who paid that shit.
But that's a tough one, though. So
it is.
If mom is currently getting child support from dad, and the money that she gets in child support is the money that she uses to pay the daycare, then is she the one that claims that she pays the daycare costs?
Actually, normally when it comes to the father, they add that in the child support, or they say he got to pay half or a quarter. But let me tell you how it went. Okay,
but hold on, even if it's a voluntary case and we just have an agreement and you give her X amount of dollars and the money that she gives you, there is a specific amount that is pulled out for those daycare costs in the child support money that you pay her, because she's the one that goes down there and hands them the money. Is she the one that gets to say that she pays the daycare?
Really, no. If it's the child support money, no. The person who you getting the money from is paying for that. That's common sense. That's common sense. But you know what? I just thought about it. In Illinois, with this both income, I don't know about it in other states. Once you pay that child support, he ain't obligated to do a goddamn thing. So all that other shit, only extracurricular activity, but like medical and all that, that's what the child support for. They don't go off that. Since they went by both incomes, they don't go off that. That's what child support's for. See, so that's why I'm like, y'all just stupid. His brothers here, dad was paying like $700, $800, $900 out of their own pocket, but the bitch go to child support because some bitch told him you're gonna get more money, and then what end up happening is just make them pay less, and motherfucker get mad, getting they feelings. And niggas say that's all you getting, bitch. I ain't paying. I ain't giving you nothing else because you try to fuck me. So and I ain't mad at him. Walmart is always hiring. So that's why I say motherfuckers are hard. Then do your due diligence. Listen to what a bitch say or going off your emotions. I don't feel sorry for you.
Well, they're gonna have to get some jobs, because if that's the case, and there is child and daycare costs is actually factored into your child support payments, then that means there is a record of you being responsible for child care costs. That's gonna have a negative impact on a lot of baby mamas.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. The next one, which parent pays for the children's health insurance? Most of the time, they make the father pay for it. Most of the time,
that's factored into child support.
Yeah. Now, in my case, they didn't do it because somebody said they didn't need my insurance. So, okay, good. No problem. I'm cool with that. Cool.
I would like to know how this is going to financially benefit men, what they're actually going to consider reducing their cost by. Because think about this. If you're paying the daycare costs and the health insurance, those are two of the biggest costs when it actually comes to the monthly cost of raising a child. Food and Pampers be another, but they're not in Pampers forever.
No.
And the older they get, how much you spend on food really depends on your parenting.
It seems like North Carolina is way late in the game, because they said they also factor how many overnights each parent has with the child, with the kid. You already know damn well that man got every other weekend. He don't have no more than that. So that's what I'm saying. They acting like they late in the game and shit. You already know how that go. Every other weekend, child support. That's it. So that's what I say. It's not. I want y'all men to understand this is not a benefit to benefit you. It just sounds good. It just sounds good.
So that should have always been factored in. If you're saying that this is the monthly cost to raise this child, then if that child is spending 5-6 days out of the month at my house, then you really can say you can take away a week off of that living expense. So how has that never been provided back to the non-custodial parent? Because during the time that they're here, I'm not collecting child support, because if they're racking up bills at their place of residence, that means they rack up bills everywhere they go.
They don't even do that when the kids are with the father for the summer. They don't say, okay, you ain't got to pay for 3 months. Oh, okay, well, you going to make you pay less because you got to pay the food and all that, and they medical bill shit and all that. Yeah, they're not. You still got to pay that child support. That's why I say this ain't no benefit shit. The only thing I can say is a benefit when they go on both salaries. If she make good money and he make good money, or she make more money than he do, it's a benefit. Other than that, but most times you don't make as much as the guy. At least the one of these baby mama terrorists.
But you know where the negative, where I could see that going, being gender biased, because she's allowed to be underemployed. He's not.
Yes, he's not. Yeah, they're gonna say, nigga, you a man, now man up and all that shit. Yeah.
So if she takes a cut in salary, nobody's gonna look at her sideways about you have the potential to make more.
Nope. They're gonna call him a bunch of bums, deadbeats, and low lies, and you could do better, and it's your fault, and it's Jermaine's fault. So I don't see no benefits. And overnights, you already know every other weekend. It's the number one thing. Everybody know every other weekend, and 1 day out the week for 4 hours. If that, or a phone call and shit on FaceTime. The fuck out of here.
Right.
Now, here's another one. The change to child support payments in North Carolina that the General Assembly put into effect January 1st, including the following. Stay-at-home parents caring for their child under 3 years old are no longer permitted to put zero as their income. So now, a baby mama tells you, I'm gonna stay-at-home parent because I don't want nobody babysitting my kid till you get a certain age. Now, you can't put zero of income. You better put down that you on OnlyFans. You got to put down that you on eBay shaking your ass and shit, because you can't use zero no more. And it also says the court now can input the bare minimum wage as income, even if they don't make that much. This ensures that the stay-at-home parent have an income to include a child support formula. So in other words, all y'all baby mama terrorists who purposely quit your jobs and get a layoff, or tell them I know motherfuckers that tell their job, lay me off and hire me back when I'm done with child support. And they do it because they bitches stick together.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me
bitches
too.
Stick together. So now, even if you don't make no money, they said, nah, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go off the cost of living. Remember I told y'all that. If you ain't working, they're gonna say, okay, what's the cost of living? $25,000, whatever you make, and we're gonna deduct from there. So if a brother makes $40,000, this bitch don't make nothing, they're gonna say, well, the cost of living here is $25,000. He make 40, and that's how we're gonna factor it. So that may lower his child support payments. Maybe.
Okay, so they're gonna hit her with imputed income. That's what's up.
I'm down with that.
Cut that bitch off.
I'm down with that. Cut that bitch off for getting away with shit. That's something. I gotta give it to you. I gotta give it to him. Now here's another one. If parents can come to a fair child support agreement on their own, the courts will often abide by it. Yeah, usually they do.
We'll see about that.
But check this out. However, if the parents can't reach an agreement on their own, depending on the family's monthly income, courts may use the North Carolina child support formula to decide what their child support payments will be. They've been doing that. That ain't nothing new. Because these baby mama kids don't want to come to an agreement. And
that's what I was gonna say, because who is that?
yeah,
Who is that decision left up to? A baby mama who don't want to agree with you, who thinks she can get more money
I
if she go
told
to a
people,
poorhouse?
listen, I told people that when it comes to a baby mama test, when they use that bullshit word co-parent, you can't co-parent with a baby mama test. You got these supporters that don't never want to call it the baby mama test. They say it's fucked up that y'all won't come together. It ain't y'all, bitch. It's the baby mama terrorists. I'm civil. It only takes one to sabotage an agreement or sabotage some type of negotiation. No, they don't want to negotiate with you. They rather for the judge to do it because they know most time the judge is gonna give them what the fuck they want. You can't make this shit up.
Right.
So that right there, you already know what it is. So what also
Sounds
what it
good.
says, it sounds good, but you already know what it is. It's a prior to January 1st, families who make $30,000 a month, $30,000 a month or less, will automatically have the child support formula applied if the parent could not reach a child support agreement on their own. However, under the new child support guidelines that went into effect January 1st, the income threshold for families to have a court automatically apply child support formula to their situation if the parents can't reach an agreement of their own has risen to $40,000 a month or less. So they want to go up. So if you make $40,000 a month or less, and the average person ain't making no $40,000 a month shit.
I was just gonna say, how many people in North Carolina making
Average
$40,000 a month?
person in the United States ain't making $40,000 a month. So that's bullshit. That's just to say, well, you under the $40,000 a month. So if you make $100 a month, they basically gonna have to say so to control you and control what they want to do to fuck you over. So that's why I say this ain't no benefit. Now, on average, of these new child support guidelines are expected to increase child support payments by 4%. So now they're gonna go up there and increase the child support 4%. Now, didn't they say that we had a kind of a recession and shit, and they already went up on insurances and banks and mortgages and shit like that, but they still going up on child support 4%. However, that only applies to child support agreements reached after the new guidelines went into effect. So if y'all get on child support 2023 and you in North Carolina, your shit is going up 4%. Anybody that's already in there, you good. Now,
Current rate of inflation, 4.6%.
Yes. Now check this out, y'all. If parents want a new guidelines to apply for the child support agreements reached prior to this year, one of the parents is going to have to request a modification for court. So now they give the baby mama tears a chance to say, you know what? I want to increase, and I think we should, increase this 4%. And they're going to oblige. See how they look out for these whores?
Right.
Now, yeah. What you got to say about that, Dallas?
That's all that was. That was just the that was just the BMT call.
It's the baby mama. Now, of course, they say schedule a confidential consultation with our experienced child support attorneys in Charlotte today. So this Rich Law PC is here to get you paid and fuck men over and definitely fuck the children over. And again, you cannot make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. You can't make shit up. What the fuck benefit that is? Nothing. You can't make this shit up.
When they talked about how many nights the child stays with the father,
the more overnight, the less child support you're supposed to get.
But do you consider the fathers who have been alienated from their kids? So if she don't allow me to pick up my child and I haven't seen them in the last however many years, do you get to say I have to pay more in child support because I don't have any weekends with my child?
No, when I went through mine, I let it be known I was alienated and couldn't have them overnight because of that motherfucker, and they didn't give a fuck about that. It's no different from fathers who are alienated, right? And we talked about this often. And the fathers say, "Well, how can I have my kids overnight? She didn't let me keep my child." And she tells the judge, "Well, he ain't experiencing watching the baby overnight. This is first baby. Bitch is yours too." But guess what? The judge will honor that, say, "Well, we're gonna start you off with getting supervised visitation, no overnights. We just give them on certain days, and then we can later on decide if you deserve to get overnight." Even though She alienated him for 2 years and all that shit.
If that's how they feel, how come she don't have a babysitter at home? Because if he can't be with his child by himself, then why can she?
Because she is the one that's going to make the course money. She's the one that's going to make the course money. I got to give a shout out to my man Rose Sage for the $50 cash. He said anything besides abolishment of child support is not a plus. I'm going to say that one more time, what he just said. Anything besides abolishment of child support is not a plus. And he's absolutely right. And he's right on time with this. I'm going to let Clifford Burns speak his piece. Shout out to my brother. And I definitely appreciate it. You know, I'm definitely trying to keep that couch from being repossessed.
Christmas Eve, and they're calling my lawyer for 2 payments, telling him there's a warrant going out for his arrest. Where does he live? I got a fucking apartment in the post office box because I don't want people bothering me anymore.
Shout out to my man Rose Sage, man. I'm just saying, man, you can't make this shit up, man. You can't.
Right, because you can't fix it because it's not broken. It's designed that way. It's not broke.
I'm tired of people saying it is rigged, broken, and all that. Nope, it's designed the way they want it to be. If they want to make it fair, do it just like that, but they're not, because they're gonna lose millions. They're gonna lose hundreds of millions. No, it's gonna affect the poor. Fuck out of here. Now, Ohio bill for automatic 50-50 child custody introduced. It's introduced with the same opposition as before. It's introduced. So it ain't passed. It ain't close to being passed. None of that shit. Go ahead, Dallas D. You go ahead and read this shit. Oh, is it a video? No, it's a picture.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think there's a video in this one.
Republican Rodney Creech. Go ahead.
So Ohio has introduced a bill that would automatically give parents 50-50 child custody. Has been reintroduced in the Ohio House and already has some of the same opposition as a similar proposal that was introduced during the last General Assembly. The bill would change state law to automatically allow joint custody to each parent in a custody dispute. Disputes of that custody would then have to be proven with clear and convincing evidence, a legal standard higher than is currently issued in custody cases. The bill sponsors state reps Rodney Creech, West Alexandria, Maryland, John, Richland County, argue presumptive equal custody would incentivize parents to work together before getting in lengthy legal battles and would push parents to create a co-parenting plan before getting the courts involved, which should have always been the agenda. Go ahead and move it, Mr. Palmer. Looks like we lost Mr. Palmer for a second. But yeah, so it's interesting that they wanted to actually introduce that, and that should have always been the standard. For them to say, you know, we want to go with the whole 50-50 and force parents to try to work a relationship. It's interesting that this is being passed now. And again, I wonder if the reason why they're introducing these bills, and I do agree that a lot of it is too little too late. But I do think that a lot of this is actually happening because of the temperament that we've seen in social media, because all the talks around the unconstitutionality around child support, about the biases that fathers have to deal with in family courts. So I think that's where a lot of this is coming from, even though it's too little too late. But I do like the idea that there should always have been the idea of 50-50 custody, because if we're in a house together and we're married, nobody comes into your home and dictates to you how you raise that child. They don't tell you how much of your income you have to spend on that child. They don't tell you what type of groceries to buy in that house. They don't tell you what school to send the child to, what kind of medical decisions to make for this child. They have zero interference in the upbringing of that child. It's between you and your wife. However, the minute there's a separation, all of a sudden, everybody is telling you what is the best way to raise your child, forcing you into contracts, forcing you to pay a certain amount of your money on a child when there's no way to say that that's how much you would spend on the child if they live with you. Even if you were a single parent, there's no way to verify that. But it's interesting that they're introducing that now, and that they want to force parents to try to come to some type of agreement. But you already know women are not going for that. Not at all. Not if it means a cut in child support. Not at all.
They gonna be like, I can't go for that. No, no
Not at
can
all.
do.
Matter of fact, he's gonna be getting the boot.
Exactly.
So yeah. So but again, so the first thing that courts will encourage, that the bill encourages, is parents to come to shared parenting order, where the parents work out what's best for their work schedule for their outside responsibilities. John told the House Families and Aging Committee on Tuesday. The courts, where we go. The courts are to presume that this is sufficient. And it should always be whatever a biological father and mother determine is going to be best for their child. Nobody should ever be able to intervene in that relationship. No court should ever be able to tell you what is going to be best for your child, because no outside person is going to want the best for your child the way you do. We can say as society, we all want our children to thrive. We can all believe in the Whitney Houston, our children are the future, and that's fine and dandy. But nobody's going to care for your child more than you are. Nobody's going to want the best for them more than you. So that should always be sufficient. We have an internet connection.
No, we
Oh,
good.
go
We
ahead,
there.
Potter.
No, we there. I accidentally clicked it off. My bad. But
Oh no, you good.
Trey asked a question. He says, and I'm letting y'all say this before, and I'm gonna let you know. He says, shout out to Trey 979. He said, did Hitler coin that phrase "best interest of the child"? Yes, he did.
Yes.
Yes, he did. So they use white supremacy for child support. And these black pros never said nothing about that. These baby mama tears who got their dashiki towel wrapped around their head, they ain't gonna never say that because it's a benefit to government daddy. These are the right hands of white supremacy. And I ain't just talking about the Ku Klux Keishas. I'm talking about all these baby mama terrorists. But I want you to understand that, yes, he used a lot of phrases that they use in family court.
Facts.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. But that question, brother. Yes. Go ahead, Dallas. Where was you at?
I don't know if I was above this or not. Okay, keep going. Oh yeah, we skipped down a lot.
So go down.
Okay, we could go right here.
Okay.
So, okay, well, hold on. Did we already read this part? The bill automatically bill sponsors go past the bill sponsors paragraph?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Allow joint custody. Each parent in a custody disputes of custody will have been proven by clear and convincing evidence, a legal standard higher than the currently used in custody cases. I think you.
Yeah, you may have to read it because it's moving slow on my end. I'm having some connection issues, so you may have to read it.
Okay, no problem. The bill sponsors state reps Ronnie Creech, Republican West Alexandria, and Maryland John, Republican Richland County, argue presumptive equal custody would incentivize parents to work together before getting in a lengthy legal battles, and will push parents to create a co-parented plan before getting the courts involved.
Shit.
Good luck to that one. The first thing the courts will encourage, that the bill encourages, is parents to come to a shared parenting order where the parents work out what's best for their work schedule. For their outside responsibilities, John told the House Family and Aging Committee on Tuesday the courts are to presume that is sufficient. Creech said the bill will help children keep relationships with their parents and work towards what he said the majority of Ohioans want: accountability in the court system. Now, let me ask y'all this question. Now, what he's saying is legit. What he's saying is right, and I agree. But here's the thing. When people run around and say that the courts is fair, all you got to do is go to court and you get equal parenting time. All you got to do is just, get you a lawyer and you get equal parenting time. And why is they coming out with this bill in the state of Ohio?
All you got to do is fight.
Yeah, all you got to do is fight and you'll get what you want. What they telling you, fellas, is to waste your money. Do a bad investment.
Facts.
That's all they try to make you do. Just understand. I hear men say it, and bitches. Even these suck ass dudes that get custody, and I say the same thing. How many men get custody? And then when I say what it is, they say that's because men ain't fighting. I said men been fighting since the fathers' rights movement back in 1963 or 65 or some shit. And I'm sure they fought before, but I'm only going off when this fathers' rights movement started. So how can you say that men are not fighting?
If he showed up for court,
You've been took. You've been hoodwinked.
I'll leave it at that. Go ahead, Dallas.
no, I'm gonna say if he showed up for court, he fighting. If he showed up for court, he's not a deadbeat. I don't care what he said when he got there. If he showed up for court, that means he didn't walk away. That means he didn't wash his hands if he showed up for court.
Right. So, so I'm just letting y'all know that if they pass that shit, they're gonna let the judge have say so to say, I don't think we should do it on this one. Colorado got it, and they doing it now. So
but yeah, they need to have some accountability in the court system.
They definitely, but they not.
Right.
I hope they pass it. I hope they'll just have it on the table like Illinois. I hope they do. I really do, because let it stop equal parenting and find reasons why he or she shouldn't have equal parenting. Legit reasons. Let's continue. First thing that courts will encourage, that the bill encourages, is parents to come to a shared parenting where parents work out the best for the work schedule for outside of responsibilities. John told the House Families and Aging Committee on Tuesday. These courts are to presume that is sufficient. I did that part. I'm sorry. Let me scroll down. Ohioans
don't trust.
Yep. Ohioans don't trust the courts, and it's our duty in the legislature to keep the courts accountable. Creech said. I'm surprised he's saying this. Because
why now?
Don't nobody. It's the reason. It must got a lot of fathers out there that's voting Republican or something. Because they believe me, they're not doing it just for the benefit of us. They're not. And most men in these different states don't trust these courts. Now, Creech told the committee, Creech told the committee that HB 14 was similar to House Bill 508 in the 134th General Assembly, which introduced as a bipartisan. I might be saying it wrong. Is I'm saying it wrong?
Bipartisan.
Okay. Bill with former Democratic State Representative Thomas West. That bill has similar language aiming to the greatest degree possible the parents share equally in parenting time and rights and responsibility of rearing their children after parents have legally separated, divorced, or dissolved, or known in marriage or in a situation where the mother is unmarried. So even he talked about if the woman's unmarried. Good. Chris said, he received pushback, and that's that. There you go, right here. He said, in working through that bill, he received pushbacks, particularly from Ohio State Bar Association, the same lawyers who you hire, same lawyers, guys, who you hire to say, I'm trying to get equal custody. I'm trying to get
first ones eating off of your child support.
Right. But these are the ones, their job to help you get what you want, right? Yeah, all right. Now, he was getting backlash from Ohio State Bar Association for trying to increase the standard of evidence to change 50-50 custody from the lower standards preponderance of evidence. In other words, every other weekend, what they always give you. Now, the HB 14 have been introduced to the OSBA, along with the Ohio Judicial Conference, and other organizations say it still does not support the bill as it currently written.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why. We already know $60 billion reason. We agree that the ideal situation is the involvement of both parents in the lives of their children. Scott,
hold on. If you agree with that, how can you not agree with 50-50? Because that sounds like a butt's coming.
Oh, when it's all said and done, but we're gonna lose money. We heard it before when I did the Illinois, man. Shout out to Ms. Mays for the $5 donation. She said, question, how can I have most of my check be taken away and still survive, but the baby mama terrorist can't survive off a full check plus extra? Well, that's because she's a low-life, lazy, human scum, child abuser, child neglector, Ku Klux Keisha, Al Karen, low-life motherfucker who finds off eBay. That is the reason, my brother.
The same reason why men are needed in the homes, because women don't manage money as well as men do. Women tend to consume.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
They're the biggest spender of the United States of America. Now, it says that Scott Lundgren, OSBA Director of Policy and Legislative Council, said in a statement to the OCJ. However,
I knew it. I knew it. Here comes the but.
However, this is what he said. However, HB 14 would do more harm than good. You know why? By shifting the long-standing best interest of the child standard currently employed in child custody dispute to instead placing the focus on the interests of their parents. So in other words, he's trying to say that it's not about the child, it's about the parents. But really the reality is they're going to lose money. They're going to lose millions, possibly hundreds of millions if they do this shit.
Right.
That's what he's basically trying to say. Now he's trying to say it's about the parents. It ain't about the child. It was never about the child.
Well, you know what he really meant? He really meant that that's about the father. If we give the father 50-50, that means the father pays less money in child support. So that's what he meant by parents.
And what does that mean? The
It
courts
ain't going to happen.
The courts will lose money.
Facts.
The courts going to lose money. Like we said a couple days ago. Hundreds of millions of dollars, and all that shit. So he trying to use that bullshit.
Because if it benefits women, they're going to say women. It's mighty funny when they talking about men, they love to say parents.
I told y'all, when y'all hear parents, when it comes to child support, they say men. Lundgren said, equal parenting may sound good on a bumper sticker, but the bill does not define what that means. And increased litigation could result from a bill due to need to rebut 50-50 custody. That would be detrimental to the child and all involved, according to Lundgren. That's why I say, man, this is why I tell y'all, fuck child support.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
This is why I say, fuck child support. He said it's going to be detrimental to the child and all involved. And he said,
Mr. Palmer, how you say 50-50 sounds good on a bumper sticker?
Because they don't give a fuck about the child.
So does the best interest of the child.
It's not about the best interest of the child. They talking about best interest of government daddy. They don't care. Now, another organization who was opposed to the HB 14, just as they were the previous bill in Ohio Domestic Violence Network. See, so you got these bitches who got this domestic violence network. What the fuck? I know what they're gonna say. Well, what about the woman's getting abused and shit like that? Let's continue. Let's see if it's right. The ODVN Executive Director Mary, feminist, O'Dottery, said the group organized opposition to HB 508 and arranged for a child psychologist to testify against it, and they plan to oppose this bill in similar ways. Yep, they're gonna use some baby mama
psychologists to oppose a bill that would benefit a child by having both parents more involved in the decisions of their life.
Let me explain something to you, Dallas. They use these same bitches, that psychologists, whether they got a license or not, they use that to family court to say that it's best interest for the child to stay with the mother and the father don't have custody, even if he ain't got no record, even if he ain't got no known abuse allegations, none of that shit. And they will say, from my intellectual standpoint, my PhD degrees, I say that the kids stay with the mama because they also benefit from this child support money. Yeah. Check this out. She called HB 14 largely the same as HB 508, and they are in the process of updating the flyer they sent to legislators with more than 90 legal, child, and family-focused organizations across Ohio who don't support the bill. That's because all these bitches
don't. They all collecting $1.
They all gonna lose money. Now, she says equal parenting assumption legislation take necessary discretions away from the courts and will result to outcomes that are harmful to children and survivors of domestic violence. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Y'all already know when it comes to the stats of domestic violence, false allegation, what is the number one factor when it comes to falsified domestic violence? I want somebody to chat. I know you know, Dallas. Somebody to chat. Tell me, what's the number one reason on false allegation of domestic violence? Somebody in the chat, let me know, because I'm stupid. I don't know no better. My mama black. What is the number one factor when it comes to false allegation amongst men? The number one. Anybody know? Josh would say custody. Yeah, basically. But the thing is, it is the number one. Custody. 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 That's number
I was
one.
gonna say control, same thing.
Well, same thing. Control. I control the kid. I control your
Yeah.
life. I control how you see the kid. I control your money amount. Yes. The number one factor when it comes to false allegation is fucking custody and child support, family court. Divorces,
for
family
you
court.
to say,
They already know this bullshit.
but
Go
for her
ahead.
to say that equal parenting presumption takes necessary discretion away from court. So basically, in that first part, you just said we want the courts to have more say so over the children than the biological parents. But then it goes further to say will result in outcomes that are harmful to children. So saying equal parenting, I would like for them to explain to me how equal parenting is harmful to a child when all the data housed by the CDC, the DOJ, the Census Bureau, the criminal justice, all of those systems, the Department of Health and Human Services, every last one of them reflect data about single parent household, and all this criminology typically stems from fatherlessness. So I would like for her to present evidence that having equal parenting would be harmful to children. Because we got the evidence on single parent households. We got that already.
True, but they trying to use he's abusive and blah, blah, blah. And I told you about the false allegation due to that. Now, if it was something legitimate and you got proof, then I understand. That's why I say you will find, unless you have legit proof that he or she should not have equal parenting, then that's justified. But most of these whores are gonna sit back and say, "No, he abusive to me and the child," and lying like a motherfucker.
If that's a reason to not want to support this bill, then how can you also not be in support of overturning the tender years doctrine when a mother has postpartum depression?
Uh-oh. Did you just say that? Can you say that one more time?
If you're going to support the idea of banning this bill, or you don't want to support this bill because of children that may be in those domestic violence situations, we all know stories of mothers who commit heinous acts against their children, whether it's beating them, torturing them, deleting them, whatever the case may be. And they all say what? Postpartum depression. So if that's the case, are we going to say we can't support the tender years doctrine now for any mother that suffers from postpartum depression?
No, that's a different story. That's a physical thing that happens afterwards when you had a baby. That's different. We just talking about the men who does that. Yes. And we already know who the most abusive, most neglectful, and cause the most child fatalities when it comes to men and women or mothers.
I would have challenged her immediately with that question, and I would have loved to see what she would have said.
No, they don't want us on that because we'll be looked at as radical and deadbeats and mammies. So no, not us. Truth or hurt.
They don't ask the right questions.
And they don't talk to the right people either. Now, it says it'll be harmful to low-income domestic violence victims as well because the funds needed to fight against the equal parenting presumption. See, that's what I'm saying. They full of shit. They full of shit.
So is there something worse about a low-income domestic violence victim than a high-income domestic violence victim?
Abuse. Nope. Abuse is abuse, whether you're rich or you poor or middle income. Abuse is abuse. Wrong is wrong. It don't have nothing to do with it. That's what they full of shit.
They just want to throw domestic violence in there again.
Understand what she's saying, guys. Just listen. She went from, I'm gonna talk like her, regular domestic violence to low income domestic violence. But now I'm a dumb nigga off college road, stupid, ain't worth shit. But this is a stupid motherfucker.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
She said low income domestic violence. And then she said litigation abuse is a common tactic used by abusers because it is one of the few main ways they control their victims after family separates. The Flash stated. You mean like government daddy do? We'll give you this link card. We'll give you this week in Section 8, but you got to keep the daddy out the house. You can't make this shit up. You
Or
can't
we
make this shit
suspend his
up.
license.
You can't. Go ahead,
Right.
baby. You can't
Or we
make this shit
suspend
up.
his license to make him pay.
Since they talking about common litigation abuse and financial abuse, get the fuck out. That's why I say, man, they don't want. That's why I say, when I hear these baby mama tests talk, they talk. Motherfucker try to talk. I'm like, bitch, what about this? Then they say you just mad because you a deadbeat. Now, she also say, we asked on Tuesday about domestic violence aspect of custody battles. Crease said in the bill that the bill seeks to keep fit parents, and that's what I thought it was for, fit parents raising their children, and to penalize all Ohio families because there could be potential abuse isn't the answer.
So, hold on. So now you want to say everybody in Ohio is potentially abusing their spouse and kids?
That's what she's saying, and he's saying that his goal is for fit parents to be. He said,
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, but to penalize
well, he's
the
right
whole
then.
state of Ohio, that ain't the answer. I agree.
Yeah, he's right then. I read that all the way wrong. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
You can't penalize them because you want to sit up here and talk about there might be some abuse. Because if that's the case, no child should ever go home from the hospital with a mother that suffers from postpartum depression. I don't care what nobody says.
At least for the first 2 years. In my opinion,
Until you've been medically cleared.
Yeah, because postpartum can last, they say the longest it can last is 3 years. That's the worst of the worst of postpartum. So when motherfuckers kill their kid 5 years, 10 years, and they try to postpartum, they lie to you. The most you have from the scientific experiment was 3 years.
Right. And if she has a second child, the child should automatically be removed because according to the data, any woman that suffers from postpartum depression has an 80% increased chance of suffering from it when she gives birth to a second child.
And I like what he said at the end. You're right. And I like what he said at the end. I hear everybody when it comes to domestic violence. And this is, let's just separate the families because this could happen. Creech said, that's what we've been doing for years and it doesn't work.
Facts.
It doesn't work.
He meant decades.
Yeah, but it's been for a very long time. And let me let Denzel speak for Malcolm X. He's a Republican saying this shit. I thought the Democrats they against this shit.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Shout out to King Diaz for the 1999. He said, I really love this lady. Please be on more often. Yes, she will. And she also will be doing the narrating also for BMT Chronicles. So yeah, definitely subscribe to that channel. It's pinned to the top, and appreciate your support, my brother, and thank you.
Salute to you, King Diaz.
Shout out to you, my brother. Yes, sir. Now, but that's what I want y'all to understand. They do not want these bitches talking about domestic violence. These the same bitches that holler feminism, the same bitches that say men ain't shit and they want to be like men. They do not want men to have no type of custody because that means they won't be able to control that father or control that man, control their ex, control their ex-husband, all that shit. They know what they doing. It's a control mechanism. And who do they always use to control a man? They money and the children. So understand that. Understand that, guys. But you talk about this, you broke, you're a hater, you ain't trying to be a father, you just a deadbeat and a dumb nigga from college like me.
And don't forget the simp enforcer.
And yeah, them simp enforcers was raised by these baby mama tears. So of course they gonna like, you know what? I ain't gotta say nothing else. Once we saw that video with that 16-year-old talking about feminists, that's the future.
That was disheartening. That was very disheartening to see that.
Make you want to shed tears. That's how sad it is. Yeah. But
because I promise you that boy has no male role models in his life.
No, he said his mother, his grandmother, aunties and sisters and all that shit, anything but dad and granddad and uncles and godfathers. Yes. You go ahead and read this last one.
Is this the Australia one?
I believe so.
Oh, is this Australia? I just threw this one in because Australia basically says screw all that other stuff. They going full
Let's
force
talk about
on
it. Let's
child
talk about 'cause
support.
let's talk about it because when it comes to all this global nation, the state, most of these countries have child support, except the Middle East.
Right.
Africa gets child support in certain countries of child support, and some of them got child support, but is different. So this is a worldwide problem. This is not just United States and UK problem. Understand that. But go ahead, Dallas. Let's talk about this foreign family court bullshit.
All right, so yeah, in Australia, Family Law Amendment Bill 2023 and other family-related bills. So Australia decided that they're going to go hard on child support, and it's almost like they went the total opposite direction that a lot of the states in the U.S. are going. So let's get into this. So on March 29th of 2023, the federal government tabled 3 bills in Parliament which impact separated couples. Family Law Amendment Bill 2023, the Family Law Amendment Bill 2023, Information Sharing and Social Services Legislation Amendment, Child Support Measures Bill 23, which is the child support bill. So the labeling of these appears to have been fast-tracked by the federal government. The community consultation process on the FLAB, which has broadest impact, was only over a period of 28 days and completed as recently as February 27th of 2023. But scroll down. I just want to get right into it. And I'll read all this other nonsense.
Okay.
So the FLAB contains amendments to the Family Law Act of 1975 and the Federal Circuit and Family Court of Australia Act of 2021. According to the explanatory memorandum, the bill will, 1, amend the parenting orders framework in the Act. 2, refine the list of best interest factors with the aim of reducing complexity and retention and enhancing the focus on the needs of individual children. So anytime you say you're focusing on the needs of children, to me, that just says the children need more and you're going to pay more. But that's not nowhere near the one.
You're right.
They're also going to refine the list of best interest factors with the aim of reducing complexity and repetition and enhancing the forces. Oh, I already read that one.
Right.
Include a standalone best interest factor requiring a court to consider the right of Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander children to enjoy their culture. Now, I do like that. I was in Australia before, and I actually did get a chance to meet some real Aborigines, so I actually do like that. And they're basically treated like second-class citizens on their own land. But we all understand that. So they're also going to repeal the presumption of equal shared parental responsibility. Repeal the presumption.
I want y'all to hear that. Say that again, Dallas.
Repeal the presumption of equal shared parental responsibility and the related equal time and substantial and significant time provisions.
So what does that mean, Dallas D? Because I'm a dumb nigga off Cottage Grove.
So presumptive equal share parenting means that when a child is born, we presume that the mother and the father are going to be equally responsible for this child, whether that be physically, emotionally, financially. So to repeal that means that at no point in time are we going to consider that there is going to be equal and shared parenting. Presumption means it's not automatic.
Exactly.
You're going to have to fight for it.
Yep. The same bullshit they do here, because I want people to understand. It ain't just America. When y'all say get your passports, you gotta know them laws too.
Right.
Go ahead, D.
They're also going to make it clear in what circumstances a court can vary in existing parenting order. Now that's going to be interesting. Are they going to give themselves more power, or are they going to give more power to the parents? And I doubt if they're relinquishing power and giving it to the parents.
And you know who the parent is.
Right. So they're also going to strengthen compliance with and enforcement of parenting orders by redrafting the provisions of Division 13A of Part 7, Compliance with Parenting Orders, to make simpler and easier to apply. Ensuring registrars can make compensatory time orders. So they're going to enhance the power of the courts to protect parties and their children from the harmful effects of litigation through new case management provisions, a new power of courts to restrain the repeated filing of new applications. So now I don't know if they're talking about the fathers who keep wanting to have their child support orders reduced, or are they talking about the women who keep wanting to have their child support payments increase?
Or both.
Could be both.
That one,
So
I think it's more the baby mama Ted's trying to increase.
If so, that would be a good thing. But they're going to clarify the restrictions on the publication of family law proceedings. So hold on. Clarify the restrictions on the publication of family law proceedings. Now, you know it's illegal to record in family courtrooms. So if they're going to clarify the restrictions, are they going to go all in and no cell phones allowed indoors? Are they why the need to clarify those restrictions? Unless something has happened, they found where you have people that actually have recorded footage in a family court, because family court proceedings have always been private.
I'm starting to see family court shit on YouTube. That's why I'm like the judges, and it's their channel. They post that shit. I'm starting to
And
see
I know
more.
in some states, I wonder, I think New York was one. I think New York was one that passed a law that says you can now record in family court proceedings. I think New York was one of those states that actually did that.
You can't do it in Illinois.
You can't do it in a lot of states.
Yeah.
So, and they're going to clarify the restrictions. So, are they going to put the hammer down on anybody trying to record any family court proceedings?
I bet. Put you in jail. Yep.
Right. Now, they do say that they want to enhance the voices of children in family law proceedings, including by codifying a requirement for ICLs to meet with and seek the views of children. Now, I don't know what age they're going to be going down to and how much they're going to actually take into consideration. But if children can be manipulated to believe that one parent is bad, and we've seen that more often than not, I really don't see this being right. I don't see this being that beneficial, because a lot of children that dislike their fathers, they dislike their fathers because they've been taught to dislike their fathers. They've been raised on the fact that their father ain't shit, hasn't been here, never wanted you, he left us with nothing, stuff like that.
Right. Facts. 100% facts.
They're also going to be removing the restriction on judicial discretion to appoint ICLs in proceedings under the Hague Convention. So hold on, they're going to remove the restriction on judicial discretion. So they used to have restrictions and now they're going to remove those?
Of course.
So I would have to, I'm gonna have to read what that under the Hague Convention, I'm gonna have to read what that is to get a better understanding of this. Because a lot of the stuff they said, some of it sounds good, but a lot of it sounds like they are really about to put the hammer down on child support laws. They want to establish a regulatory making power for government to make regulations that will provide standards and requirements to be met by family report writers who prepare family reports. Now, whose family are they going to be reporting on? The custodial family or the non-custodial father?
That's a good question.
And are the standards and requirements, so if they're going to be reporting on the custodial family, the custodial parent and the child, are they going to be having living standards?
As far as I'm concerned, they're no different from America.
And what are they going to be reporting on anything that's going to alter child support, that's going to alter visitation, it's going to alter, if they see that, I don't know, if there's an issue, is it going to be something that's going to allow them to have CPS step in and take children away from families? Yeah. What are these reports actually going to be on is what I'm interested to see.
The state's going to get in the mix of that. Yep.
Right. And what I would like to know what they're going to be focusing on. Are they going to be watching the non-custodial parent to make sure that they're not underemployed?
It's a lot of questions with this bullshit.
Yeah. They also want to make minor administrative amendments to whatever that act is to enhance administration. And there was one part in here where they were saying something about they were going to enforce, get strict on the enforcement of child support. So anybody who actually owes child support, they were actually going to enforce, you know, how they go about collecting those funds. So does that mean more roundups? Does that mean more men are going to possibly be doing 90, 180-day stints in prison because of child support payments or because of arrearage, because of mispayment? So, but yeah, there was a part in there where they talked about that too. But yeah, there's a whole lot in here that they talk about. And a lot of it sounds like they really plan on putting the hammer down on collecting child support. And it sounds like it's written in the best interest of the child. We want to make sure that these funds are available. We want to make sure that the children have access to this. A lot of it sounds like it's in the best interest of a child, but we already know the best interest of a child just means right. We already know that means the worst for biological dad.
Hey man, we already know what it is. Question, because I know this is long. It's a lot. Is it a certain part you want me to scroll down? Because we ain't got to read the whole thing. But
I didn't even know where it's all at, to be honest with you, because I was skipping through this thing so much. But yeah, it is a lot. I would put the link up and just let people read it if they want to, because it is Australia.
I just
doesn't
did.
necessarily have an impact on us. But yeah, it seems like they're going right. They're going in the opposite direction that we're going in. But you know, everybody else doesn't have the freedoms that we like to hold on to in America either.
Right. And just know, I want you to understand, I want you to look at it, because it's not just America, it's not just UK, it's all over the world, man. Even in the third world, Brazil and all that shit, Japan, motherfucking all these countries, man, except the Middle Eastern. Even India got this problem.
Right.
Just want y'all to understand that this system is a worldwide pandemic of making money, and fuck your kids over feminism and everything else. Shit.
Facts. And it seems like all the laws or bills that they introduce, again, they're really good at putting BS bills in pretty packages. And some of it really do sound great. But even the ones that sound great, how can we be in 2023 and we're just now talking about the concept of shared parenting when we got 50 years of data showing the harmful effects of single parent household? How did it take us 50 years to get here?
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
And believe me, it's a catch-22 to that bullshit.
You already know it is, because if the first thing they're talking about doing is if we're going to introduce bills that allow us to set new minimums for low-income individuals, but at the same time, we're also going to compute the new cost of raising a child because the old data was based off of 20-year-old data, then how is that going to have a positive impact on non-custodial parents?
Facts. 100% facts.
So they're going to raise your child support 4% to save you 1%. Maybe.
And you say the key word, maybe. It ain't saving shit. It's still 4%. Gross. Right. Gross.
And the reasonable bills, why are they being met with opposition? Why is 50-50 being met with opposition? How do you say we believe that co-parenting is best for the child? However, how do you throw a however at the end of co-parenting or having both parents involved in the decision making?
Dallas, I want you to understand that if the courts lose money, everybody that's related to getting a piece of that action is going to lose money.
Right. And it's a lot of people making money. I say that to women. The women who believe in child support, believe they need to run down to family court to extort money or make him be financially responsible. That's all fine and dandy. You may be, all giddy and excited about the $800 a month you get in child support, but the $800 you getting is pennies compared to what the state and everybody else is collecting off of your child. All these other institutions, Google, Venmo, Apple, Walmart, who's collecting money off of child support transactions, none of them are doing anything to benefit your child, but they're collecting off of your broken home. But we sitting up here high-fiving that nonsense.
And what's even worse, a lot of them is high-fiving. The man ain't even a father anyway. Remember, 30% of men who on child support are paying it for a child's not theirs.
Right. Right. But yeah, but we celebrate getting those few little pennies a month for a child, but everybody is getting rich off of your child, and 70% of welfare recipients live below the poverty line. But everybody else getting rich.
Right. So doing the Illinois say it's gonna really affect the poor. They don't give a fuck about the poor. They do
And
not
they
give a
never have. And they
and
definitely
never
don't give a
will.
damn about these kids.
And will never will. And never will. Dallas D, as always, I definitely appreciate you coming on this show and making motherfuckers mad right along with me and spread the truth.
It's always a pleasure, Mr. Palmer. You know you got the best chat on all of YouTube. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some of the narrating on the BMT Chronicles page. The first story I'm going to do is going to be Melissa Town. We did share that story with you, but we're going to go into detail about Miss Melissa Town. Yeah, that was a horrendous story. So that's going to be the first one on cover. I'm actually looking forward to that. But yeah, y'all subscribe to my channel. You'll soon start seeing videos on my page as well. But yeah, you got the best chat on all of YouTube, sir. There is no better place to be on a Sunday afternoon than in Mr. Palmer's court.
I definitely appreciate it. TJ, he said 30% are not the fathers. Brother, you didn't know that? 30% of men are paying child support. Kids not there. That's out of the 87.5% of men who are on child support. So when people run around saying child support is fair, it's for the best interest of the child. I want you to understand, brother, 30% of men are paying for a child's not theirs. And you wonder why I say, not you, but you wonder why I say for child support? That's one of the reasons. Put your link, Dallas. Gail want to get your link so she can put it in the chat while you speak your piece.
I got it. But yeah, 30%, and that's according to the ABBA, the American Blood Bank Association. That's according to them. And in all honesty, they stopped testing when they saw the numbers were at 30% because it was so alarming.
Yes, and not only that, here's the last thing, my brother TJ. Those are men who was married. So imagine the ones that were not married. That's just 30% of men who were married. I guarantee you it's over 50% of men is paying child support for kids not theirs, whether they know or don't know. You can't make this shit up. Yes,
not
TJ.
At all.
You don't believe me? Look up. I ain't lying to you. I talk about often. I repeat myself so people that come in as new be like, damn, I ain't know that shit. Because I want people to understand why I say fuck child support. That's just one reason. That's not the only reason. But that's why it should be automatic, not equal parenting, which I definitely equal parenting. It should be automatic DNA testing, married or not married. I don't give a fuck. It should be automatic.
DNA 826.
Yeah. See, if they did that, they know they'll lose a lot of money because a lot of these bitches will be talking about, damn, he ain't the father after all. Well, they knew it from the get-go. They'll be like, I don't know who the fuck the daddy is.
Okay. But yeah, those were married men. That's what was alarming about the data. This data was coming from men who had no reason to suspect that those children were not theirs. These were men who did it right.
Yeah. And black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, it don't matter. This ain't just black. This is men all across the board. Nation problem.
Facts.
See.
But yeah, it's always a pleasure, Mr. Palmer.
Oh yeah. I'm either gonna hit you up later or tomorrow. You all tomorrow?
Unfortunately not, but I'll be working from home most of this week, so I'll be more available.
I got something else that I got lined up by the end of the year next year, and I want you definitely involved in that too. I'll let you know.
Hey, as long as it's anything for child support, you know I'm with it.
It's not, I'm be honest, it's not about child support, but it's another just like kind of like BMT Chronicles.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yep.
I got you, Mr. Palmer.
All right. One more time. Tell them where to reach you and subscribe and where to come holler at you.
Yeah, y'all go ahead and subscribe to Dallas D. I did put the channel in the chat. And of course, y'all will be hearing me narrating on BMT Chronicles, and I'm definitely looking forward to telling some of these stories. But yeah, y'all know where I'm at. Y'all can follow me on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, and I'm Dallas D. Everywhere I go, I'm Dallas D.
Yep. So as always, Dallas, I appreciate you. I'm definitely gonna call you tomorrow. So
All right,
maybe
that's what's up.
probably about 11 to 12 o'clock.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Shout
Have
out
a
to
good
Dallas
one.
D. You too.
Couch
The pick me,
gang.
the certified pick me of Couch Gang.
Y'all have a good one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to the lovely Dallas D. And definitely salute to the chat. Shout out to the Couch Gang. Thank y'all for tuning in today. I appreciate y'all. Y'all could have been doing something else. You know, the thing of the matter is a lot of people don't know about these laws that usually change every year. They add something to it or they take something away. But it's not benefit of the child. It's benefit of government daddy. It may seem beneficial to the baby mama terrorists, which is only for them to be beneficial because it benefits government daddy. Notice everything we talked about when it comes to equal parenting time. They like, oh no, we can't do that. And they try to say domestic violence, which we know majority of the false allegations due to custody, family court, and all that shit. That's the first thing to use, the step-by-step plan. And unfortunately, the majority of our society is going to say, yeah, what about domestic violence? And yeah, they shouldn't either. These baby mama terrorists don't want no equal parenting time. And I have to say something, and I should have said this when you was on here. I wasn't thinking. You want to know what's going to happen if they do actually push this equal parenting time and they actually don't have it on the table? It's going to be more children getting killed by these baby mama terrorists because he got equal parenting time. Let Denzel speak on behalf of Malcolm. It's going to be more deaths around here.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
It's going to be more children getting murdered by one of these baby mama terrorists because he got equal parenting time. And I'd be damned if I let him have control of that. I'd rather kill this little motherfucker and I just blame it on postpartum depression. You can't make this shit up. I guarantee you it's going to be more murders of our children. How dare you get equal custody? How dare you take away my control? How dare you have that child around that bitch and all that shit? See, that's going to be another downfall. Because I want you to understand, they only have these children for one reason. It's not to love, teach, and nurture. It's to destroy, kill, and control. So on that note, I ain't got nothing else to say. Shout out to Dallas D as always. That's my partner. That's my ace. As well as a lot of y'all, you know, good night. Shout out to y'all who've been around for the 3 years that I've been on this motherfucker. The ones who've been around since I was on Facebook for child support. The ones that just came in the gate. I appreciate y'all. But definitely is going to other lanes because these baby mama terrorists got to be exposed. And if that means I'm just a deadbeat dumb nigga from Cottage Grove, then so be it. That's why I told y'all I'm everything you say. But until you prove me wrong, you ain't proved nothing.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
So on that note, I will be live tomorrow. And I appreciate y'all to the max. Y'all be safe out there and stop getting these bitches pregnant. I don't care if you're married or not. These bitches ain't shit. These are baby mama terrorists, and they ain't gonna do nothing but set you and your child and your livelihood up for failure. You know what I'm saying? Like I told y'all, if you got to go overseas, get you somebody, keep them over there and do it over there. If you got to go to a church and find one, and if she's actually righteous, you got to do it the other way, arranged marriage, do it. Do what you got to do, and don't get caught in this system like me and others. And if you've been in there once, don't get in there 2 and 3 fucking times. Change the laws in your mind, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man, Mr. Pena, who's from Brazil. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. But y'all be safe out here, man. Tomorrow we on it popping, same time, 4 o'clock. Like I said, man, men, you hear these bitches talk this bullshit about men don't want to be fathers, men are deadbeats, and y'all broke because you blue collar and all that shit. Just think about the shit that we talked about just over here. And look at them and say, I understand why you're saying it. You're miserable, you're low life, you're a baby mama terrorist. You're mad because he actually thought about himself to have more value. And he left your low like the dusty goof ass. And I only say dusty because that's what these bitches say. So on that note, y'all definitely have a good one. And once again,
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
So on that note, I'm Mr. Palmer, and this conversation is over. Fuck child support. Peace. And I'm going to go ahead and end it with the boots. Get these bitches the boot and get them the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Hey, look, you ain't paying my motherfucking rent for 9 months.
No.
Hell no, I don't want no motherfucking sex. I'm Mr. Palmer, bitch. I don't do that sucker shit. Better have my motherfucking money. Okay. What I don't understand, how you be so strong and be so independent and be a bum, bitch. You got help from government daddy, and you get them PPP loans. Yeah, you haven't paid shit, so you need to get gone. You haven't paid your fucking rent for a whole 9 damn months. Hell no. Got my crib all smelly and nasty from trash and blood. Oh, hell no. Fuck this, get the fuck out. Fuck you being homeless and the least wanted. Bitch, you're a bitch, you know this. So get the fuck out of here. Your ass get in the big thing. Your ass is about to get the boot. Your ass get in the big thing. Your ass is about to get the boot. Your ass get in the big thing. Your ass is about to get the boot. Your ass get in the big thing. Your ass is about to get the boot. Your ass get in the big thing. Your ass is about to get the boot. Your ass is about to get the boot. Your ass get in the big thing. Your ass is about to get the boot.
Y'all baby mama tears out here want to destroy children and fathers and shit. We got a brain, and we seeing y'all for what y'all is. So we're giving y'all motherfuckers the boot. And don't forget, Walmart is always hiring. Yeah.
Man, these bitches got me fucked up, man. Baby mama tell her tomorrow she needs some money. Man, you better go to Walmart.
Walmart.
Walmart is always hiring.
Walmart is always hiring.
Walmart is always hiring. Walmart is always hiring. Walmart is always hiring. Walmart is always hiring.
Walmart
is always hiring. Walmart is always hiring. Walmart is always hiring. Walmart is always hiring. Walmart is always hiring. Wonder holler broke, bitch, you get some child support. Section 8 Obamacare, your ass better sell some dope. I ain't here to save your hope, I'm telling you in the dope. Better save your lean card or a twerking liquor store. Better shake it for Habib, better shake it for Mr. Chan. Better shake it for Tyrone, bitch, I don't give a damn. Matter of fact, only fans go find your ass a stam. Who was shopping suckers? Bitch, I'm not your fucking man. It's not my fault you got 5 baby daddies with 4 fucking kids and no else to fucking live. Not my problem, better get your ass a job. Go to sleep if trailer parks, better go to fucking Walmart. Walmart is always hiring. 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 Walmart is always hiring.
Off the liquor, but I hit her, yeah, I'm sipping on some Henny, going in, all six. Hey, let me get some Remy. I'ma have my dick in there before it even hit me. If you think I'm about to drop a dime, ho, you know you tripping, fo. Me the pussy free, for your man you charge a fee. I'ma get up in the guts and you gon' try to have my seeds, and I'ma be a deadbeat. I ain't tell you had that kid, you know I was about to nut, but you kept on riding dick. When it comes to being freaky, bitch, you an all-star, but you always broke. Better holler at Walmart, so you better take direction. Oh, bitch, take this lesson. Now get up on your knees, I don't wanna hear no questions. Walmart, Walmart.
Walmart is always hiring.
Walmart, Walmart.
Walmart is always hiring.
Walmart, Walmart.
Walmart is always hiring. Walmart is always hiring. Walmart is always hiring.
Walmart, Walmart.
Walmart is always hiring.
Walmart, Walmart.
Walmart is always hiring.
Walmart, Walmart.
Walmart is always hiring. Walmart is always hiring. Walmart is always hiring.
Welcome, thought. I thought your degrees were your ticket out. Welcome, thought. You're back with the guys you used to laugh about. Running around, busting down, get community. With 6 baby daddies, 5 kids and win. Who would thought it'd be ya? Another Ku Klux Keisha. So believe it or not, you a thought from the block. Use a thought. 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 I thought your degrees were your ticket out. Use a thought. You're back with the guys you used to laugh about. Playing a role, you're not a hoe, say you're not a thought. You need to see reality, you was a BMT. Who would thought it'd be ya? Another Ku Klux Keisha. So believe it or not, you a thought from the block. Use a thought. Use a thought. Use a thought. Use a thought. Use a thought, use a thought, so believe it or not. Use a thought, use a thought, use a thought. Believe it or not. Use a thought, use a thought, use